Good evening. It's Tyranny time. How's everybody doing tonight? I had some lemon chicken rice for dinner. Excellent. All that literally is I made some rice in my rice cooker. I put in some chicken stock and a little bit of lemon juice, and my God. Dig says I should record a podcast. That's a great idea. I should read some rule books and record a podcast about me reading rule books. That's a great idea. I should definitely do that. You know what though? I've been busy buying a house. It's true. So, we are in the Blessed Library of Zorg. What were we doing?
Right.
What's going on here? Hey, that's Scarlet Fury that we talked to, isn't it?
Curious.
Bone Whittler. Oh, that's new. Have you procured the necessary relic yet? You mean the Codex? No, not yet. We're working on that. Well, listen, Night Owl, I'm already addicted to, like, food and water, so I figured getting addicted to having, stable shelter is probably the next logical step. Awfully cute of you to try and sneak up on me in a well-lit room. You're right there. It's great. It's like, did you ever see, what was it? I think Arlenauts did those goof Dark Knight Rises bits. And there's the bit in, like, the crowd, and he goes, like, is Batman standing, it's the end of the crowd where, like, Batman's facing off against Bane, and he goes, have you seen the Batman? he could be anywhere. He's a master of disguise and stealth. He's standing right in front of him. I'm sorry. Right, where were we? I'm sorry, did I forget to conveniently glance somewhere else? I wonder how you thought that might go. So, here's some new blood come to feed the furnace. I doubt you'll last long. Is this supposed to be doing something for me? Shall I care? I will tell you I don't care about this contest. I don't even care if I ever leave. The censor has given me a wonderful playground. I have high hopes of making it out with all my pieces intact. If the censor wanted this to be challenging, she should have sent me people with more drive. With the help of my mates and a few sages, we'll toast the competition into a fine ash and powder our faces with their defeat. And if we find the Silent Archive in the process, that'll be good too. What do you know about the Silent Archive? Nothing. In my estimation, if I can't do anything for you, it's not worth your time. You know what, Mr. Bone Whittler, how about you whittle some respect for your fellow man, or just go home and don't come back until you have some? Tell me about the contest. There we go. Honestly, the only important part of this contest is that only one group is going to make it out alive, and I get to have fun dismantling every other group. This is the perfect spot to lie in wait. There's a piece of the passcode down that hall. If someone takes it, they have to walk right by us to leave. There's even a sage down there with a wounded disfavored. I'm letting them stew. Fear and blood taste so much better when they're allowed to marinate. Should we kill him? We could just leave him alone. Set him on fire? Yeah, we could do that. We could get the sages to set him on fire. Let's do that. Hey, sages. Do any of you want this man to find the Silent Archive? Because I don't. Think a sage can get the drop on me, do you? Won't happen. How can you be so sure? That's how. Would you feel inclined to misbehave if you knew you'd be put down the moment you start acting rabid? Our sages know their place. You help and you obey. Or you die. Short-sighted fool. This is how you act tough? You discard decades of learned study? Even the voices of Narat would be offended by this needless waste of such a valuable slave. You really need to die. Cutting right to the chase of any of the foreplay. A man after my own heart. I made him dumber, yes. I really wish I had that, like, cone attack one. Where's my... knock them to... there it is. Ha! I got him! That usually doesn't work. Mirror image. Not looking good. Chug a potion. Really not looking good. Hello, people. Hello, Digiman.
We should try that again.
Yes, hasted. Why won't this guy die?
Will do.
Maybe we should try setting him on fire. Oh, shit! Alright, I'm Kills in Shadow now. Fucking wreck this guy. Ooh, nice. Can't stampede, can't do leaping death. A little claw swipe. Oh, don't need to. Alright. Geek the mage! Not the mage, the archer. Kill the archer.
Sweet, merciful Kairos, not again!
That's pretty effective.
There's nothing.
You guys doing okay down there? They're doing fine. They're doing fine. Ebb's holding her own. This mage is here. This archer's almost dead. Nice. And dead. Oh, shit. Walked right into the trap. Whoops. Lightning bolt.
Consider it done. As you command.
You'll have to do slightly better than that.
Keeps healing himself. Hurry up and die. I'm trying to murder faster, it's not working. There, got him. Alright, everybody stand up. 2 wounds, 2 wounds. We're fine. It's fine. Iron Brand. Potion. Potions are good.
Right.
Well, shame about that, sage, but he made his choice. Ooh, a scroll. Sigil of Cyclical Energies. What is that one? Oh! Reduces cooldown time. Cool. I want to learn more sigils. So I guess I could have just gone, like, around him this way. Hey guys. Never ends, does it? You're fine. Little blood comes with the territory. But you need to keep quiet or I won't be able to get this done right. I don't want you bleeding out. Thank you. I appreciate your help, even all the trouble we've caused you. The sages aren't nearly as bad as I was led to believe. Aw, they made friends. What are you planning on? Oh, what are you planning on doing? We're both trapped here with those chorus members right on the other side of the rubble, and I'm certainly in no shape to fight. It would seem we're in quite a bind. I don't want to kill him. You know what? This is not my concern.
You learn something every day.
Hey, got a piece of the passcode. Actually, what if I tell them? If I tell them you're not worth killing, what do they say? Oh, thank you. Finding mercy from anyone in here is the last thing I expected. Okay, there we go. We're going anywhere now, but as soon as I'm ready, I can get us out. Problem is that group. Yeah, they're already gone, buddy. Thank you. As soon as I'm out to it, I'll get out of here. Cool. Screw the Scarlet Chorus. Those are fucking jerks. Alright, let's see what else we can find here. Previously nuked. Yes, exactly. How do I get over there? Ooh. Loot. What is this? Oh, that goes upstairs. I guess that's a ladder? Or like a rope or something? I don't know.
This is where we'd socialize. And by that, I mean we'd drink till we forgot geometry.
Huh. She doesn't say where that goes. Let's see where this goes. Oh, it's a rope that goes down. Anything over here? Oh, this is that. Okay, this is the lower part that we were in before. Or have we been here before? Maybe might not have been. No, we were. I think I went over here, though. Must have forgot that part. Look, we're taking our time, Whacker. We're exploring, we're learning things.
Powerful warding magic keeps this place intact. Who knows how long it will hold?
Wow. Hey, level up. Okay, more quickness? No, more finesse. Finesse is good. %50 chance of riposte. That's cool. Oh, only with nothing in the offhand. Oh, fuck that. Real badasses. Dual wield. Well, maybe not. Hundred fists. Dual wield mastery. Move faster. Arrow shield. Sneak attack. Sneak attack would be pretty cool. Just looking ahead to see what we got here. Honestly, like, actually, maybe going duelist is not such a bad idea. That's kind of cool. I don't know, if we get like a cool single short sword, maybe. Let's get sneak attack. That sounds fun. Lore master, instructor, stance frozen, mage slayer stance. Greater renewal could be useful. Actually, yeah, that's really good. Let's do that. Is it all his attacks or just his quill attacks? I think it's all his attacks. Valid weapons all, yeah. Nice. And then, of course, we're going to increase Lantry's wits. Snack attack. Now there's an idea. Let's improve the cooldown of this. And also the range. Actually, rather than range, we can improve the strength and he can still cast it. Although actually maybe range... Maybe range is better. Double the range. Yeah, yeah, that's actually good. This one... Recovery is too oof, but if we turn that off and give it this... There we go. This one kind of maxed out. What is that Kills in Shadow thing? Kills in Shadow is a beast woman. She's well, she's something. That's for sure. Useful? Extremely. She's how do I put this? She's a chainsaw with legs, basically. Update Ebbs spells a little bit here. Just how all women want to be referred to. Exactly. She at base at least the best melee fighter you can get. Yeah, she's great. Her and Barrack in the same party is chef kiss.
Right. Quiet down.
Let's see if we can sneak up on these Bane. No, it seems we can't. Yeah, Barrack is better as a tank in my opinion. He's tough to kill.
Found something.
Ooh, a trap. Maybe I can get closer. Disarm. And withdraw. Yeah, come on. Come get me, Bane. Come get me.
I'll take care of it.
Leaping Death, go!
Your days end here!
Nice! It worked. It worked! For certain values, it worked. Blue guys are weak to fire, remember that. Yes! And you were weak to frost, but don't have any frost, so you can have some lightning. Oh god. Okay, maybe it's time to bust out the Grave Light. Oh! Holy shit! It just destroyed those.
Will do.
Disengage. Oh, Kills in Shadow, don't die.
I got it.
Blinded. And dead. Okay, so odds of survival better if
Right.
combat disengage. Dusty Missive. Sage Renata urges her to make an important decision about the future of the guild. Evidently, the sages were often used as mediators between the armies, oftentimes because Graven Ash refused to work with the voices of Narat. Interesting. Well, that goes in the evidence folder. Remember, we're part of what we're doing here is we're building a case against the Archons. Tunon hasn't specifically given us that objective, but that's what we're doing. So it comes down to this. I might not have much of my crew left, but I will die before I let you in first. Is Tunon happy with us in general? Yes, Tunon is very happy with us. I have made a point of getting Tunon's favor as high as I can get as quickly as I can. Can we talk instead of jumping into a fight? I plan on winning this game. That means you have to die. Fuck's sake. Great. We're marked. We'll use Tyranny's Embrace if things get a little hairy. Have some fire. Have some more fire.
Idiot!
I got it.
Did he just explode? He exploded. The guy just fucking exploded. Sigil of Influential Domain. Oh, yes, we got a new one. Okay, so now we have. It only works on some of them. Influential Domain creates spells that affect all targets within a circular area. Arid Lands creates and to form a sweltering zone of sultry heat. Enemies in the field are continually fatigued. Awesome. That doesn't work with very many. Ooh, restore the land. AoE, 10% health for 45 seconds. Oh, 10% health every 3 seconds for 45 seconds. That's cool. Okay, you got an idea, Whacker? Hit me, hit me. Say like, what about an area? Okay, I'm with you. I'm listening. It's filled with fire. Yes, that was this one. Arid Lands. However, only Lantry can really use it for the moment. I'm going to try and get Wakefield's lore up to 90 so he can use it. Arctic Ground. Freeze the ground. Enemies are stacking penalty of recovery and slip and fall prone. That's the only one that works. Oh yeah, I know. I got plans for setting people on fire. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. In fact, I'm going to backtrack a little bit, see if we can maybe find some more magical sigils before we move on. I really want to find that cone AoE one, so I can do like fire cone or whatever it's called. Also, I'm going to hydrate because my mouth is dry. Oh, thank you, Whacker. Much appreciated, sir. People feel less tired while on fire. Is that true? I don't know if that's true. I mean, I'd believe it. If you told me it was true, I'd believe it. They always seem to be running around. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But then they take long naps. Mm-hmm. Well, you know the old saying of Saint Ralph the Conflagrator: light a man a fire, warm him for an hour. Light a man on fire, he'll be warm for the rest of his life. Praise Zorg. Did we talk to this guy? No, we must have. He's dead. Ooh! Blood Chanter's Staff. It does fire damage. Hell yes. Bloodchanter's spine? I have questions. What? Oh, it's an actual spine. Okay, some arcane practitioners believe that the bones, organs, and drained humors of mages possess unique properties. There's a section of mages is frowned upon practice, not wholly illegal in Kairos' empire. What's this? You should train all your lore in Act 1 stage at every level up. I'm not sure if you can take those training ranks later levels. Remember, it's not possible game on. Here's the thing about that, Falkenstein. The rate at which you level up is based on the skills that you learn. Not like you don't gain XP in the way of other games. You level up whenever you learn X number of skills. So, in that sense, since the number of skills you can train is capped based on your level, I know that you know. I'm explaining it for the sake of chat. Since the number of skills that you can train is capped per level, like it's trained by trainers, you don't actually lose skill ranks by not doing training. You just level up faster. Or rather, you level up slower. But yes, you could theoretically have min-max lore at early levels. I could have done that. I just didn't. Oh yeah, Wacko, you wanted to see my favorite with Tunon. Check this out. Look at that. Look at that. It's a hair shy of 5, and I have a little bit of wrath. Little tiny bit of wrath. See? He likes me. Let's give Lantry. Could give him the Staff of Fire. The Staff of Frost actually is better right now. So maybe later. Yeah, no, that's the thing, Whacker, is Favor and Wrath are separate tracks. You can have both. In fact, I think Barrick hates me and respects me in equal... Yeah, no, that's Lantry. Yeah, see, Barrick hates and respects me in about equal measure. He has a sort of grudging respect for me. Yeah, you can even have both abilities. Can you reduce Wrath? Yes, you can both gain and reduce Wrath and Loyalty. And things that gain Loyalty do not always reduce Wrath, and vice versa. For instance, one thing I've been trying to do is max out my Wrath with the 2 main armies, because they're both fucking idiots. But I mainly just have max Wrath with Avenger and Guard, because I kind of slaughtered all of them. I don't think there's even any left. That's right, there are even a few instances where you can gain both. Notably, here's something that I find interesting. Notably, it's not actually possible to gain Favor or Wrath with Kairos. Kairos is beyond the influence of the narrative, which I think is very interesting. Kairos just is, right? Kairos is not really a character. Kairos is sort of a setting detail. It's an interesting choice. Yeah, it's a shame we'll probably never get a sequel. I heard, Falkenstein, maybe you heard this. I heard a wacky theory that Tyranny is actually a prequel to Pillars of Eternity. Alright, so how do we get past here? We must be missing one. Yeah, we're missing one parchment piece. Yeah, I'm not completely sold on the theory myself. I heard it. I thought it was interesting. It's an interesting idea. Like I can kind of, I'm not sure of it myself, but it's interesting to think about. Well, one interesting thing is that at one point in Pillars of Eternity, there were 2 moons. before Andra dropped one of the moons on what's his face, the god of forges. The worlds work so extremely differently. Do they though? Do they? I'm not gonna. They do seem to follow similar paradigms. Like consider. I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, you see what I'm getting at. You see what I'm getting at. There are similarities. There are similarities, and the fact that there are similarities is interesting. But like you, I'm not convinced that they are similar enough to be the same setting. There are no gods in the Tyranny setting. There are also no gods in Pillars of Eternity. I have a screenshot. Spoilers for Pillars of Eternity. I have a screenshot of when I played Pillars of Eternity and I picked Philosopher way at the start. So you get all the way to the end. You find out from the dead Inquisitor that, yeah, the gods aren't real. And if you picked Philosopher and if you picked Nihilist, you could interject and go, I knew it! It's so good. You can also debate philosophy with Andra, and she gets really pissed with you. But, Durance and Zhao are both like, fucking well done, bro. Oh, here it is. Here's the page we missed. Ooh.
Curious.
Secret. Sigil of Lightning. Lightning is cool. I like lightning. Mind static torque. Final piece. I can't fucking believe it! I'm going to see the Silent Archive! Oh, keep it together, Lencher. You're gonna give yourself a heart spasm. Takes a swig of ink. I would, in fact, argue, Falkenstein, that the Archons are kind of a precursor to deities. I would, in fact, argue that. But I don't want to say too much. Those have the strength of will, the door to the north shall open. Second comes passion, burning in the south like an unending fire to provide vitality to the dedicated. God, I can't read today. From the west shall the one with true resolve come to explain the gravity of commitment to knowledge. Lastly, look to the east and brace yourself against those who would pull you down. Let your might be solid as stone. I suspect the password is in some way related to elements. Go to the smithy town before resolving this area. I'm locked in now. I can't leave without resolving. Why does something happen if I don't go hit Lethian's Crossing now? I'm planning to hit Lethian's Crossing next. Oh, this document chronicles the early days of the Regent bloodline stalwart. Hidden among a list of names and titles, you find the story of Queen Porcia, who stripped her infant child of any legal claim to the throne to stave off an assassination attempt. The event set a legal precedent that lasted for centuries. I think someone might find that of interest. You must gather your party before venturing forth. Those laws have no relevance to any other quest. No, sir. No, they don't. They certainly aren't relevant to the method that I usually resolve it by. Oh, dear. Evil lawyer laugh. Yep. That's this game in a nutshell. Alright, now we can open the damn barrier. Yeah, okay. What did the parchment say? Okay. Do those have the strength to will the door to the north? North? Fire. Will north. Fire south. West. Gravity. East. Earth. Okay. North. South. West. East. Oh yeah, Skull was a different game. Although we do miss Mort very much. Fucking asshole. What did we learn? Sigil of Timeless Form. Oh, duration, I think that is. Yeah. Extended duration. Adds... looks like it adds 15 seconds. It's already been a month.
Right.
Nope, pet. Hold on. As soon as he comes closer, I'll pet him. He's just yelling for no reason. He likes to do that. Oh, that
Can't do that.
Out. Posture check, thank you. Let me straighten up here. Give it a little stretch. Oh dear, an eye break. Oh dear. Okay, okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys looking after my you know, posture and stuff. Okay, we are stretched. We are refreshed. Let's get back to it. Oh, hello. Well, I assumed it would be you who would emerge as the victor in this game. I must say I'm a little disappointed you were able to dispatch all my men so readily. The fear of death is a great motivator, but causing death seems to motivate you a little more. I guess I'll have to show a more discerning eye in my recruiting. But your string of successes ends here. Your body will join with those of the sages on the altar. It's rather amusing if you think about it. They may have stopped the building from collapsing, but they couldn't stop the edict, or the Scarlet Chorus. All they did was sacrifice themselves for a scrap of parchment they're going to lose anyway. Interesting, because I find your confidence amusing. I just eliminated your entire crew. Almost as amusing as yours, Fatebinder. Those fools were mere peons. You'll find I will not fall as readily as my underlings. One does not lead in the Scarlet Chorus for long if one does not know how to watch for danger. Every human is weak compared to Alpha to kills in shadow. Oh, thanks, friend. And while I thank you for your help opening up the passage to finding the silent archive, you are no longer of any use to me. It's time to end this. Okay. Let's start with some buffs. What else can we do? That guy is kind of an asshole, isn't he? Stampede. Let's do Stampede.
It's a battle!
Okay, getting closer. Good. Let's move a little like that. Tyrannosaurus Embrace. Watch this. This is gonna be good. Damn it! Didn't work. Holy shit! Everyone just fucking died. Let's just reload that. Everybody just fucking died. Like, boom, gone in an instant. What the fuck? Let's do some long duration buffs before we go in there. Like chug some fucking potions or something. Par for the course. Yeah, combat in this game is kind of swingy. You gotta kind of be prepared. Arcane armor, +2 armor, useful. Ooh. At least we didn't kill all the civilians with AoE. Listen. That didn't happen, okay? That did not happen. Hit them with the spine. There are long duration buffs, yeah. Item buffs tend to last for upwards of like minutes. Actually, that's cool. And then you can have... Let's give you the enraging stuff. Rot Spear. Boom. What does enrage do? Yeah, there we go. Alright, we are buffed. I mean, you could chuck some potions. You could throw things at them. Okay, we'll just breeze through this. Stampede. Renewal. And let's get ready to catch them when they come in.
Another demonstration.
Great. Tyrannosaurus Embrace. Here we go. For real this time. Here we go. For real this time. Okay. Solid opening. Oh, look, they're perfectly positioned to knock down.
Yes.
Ha! Have I been silenced? I've been silenced! Okay, so what that does, Willard, is Ebb raises everybody up in the air and then blasts the enemies with Grave Light. And so this, everybody gets healed and all of them get damaged. Oh, Lantry, are you using your stances? You should use your Mage Slayer stance. I can only do that once per rest, unfortunately.
Will do.
Holding my guts.
I got.
Set on fire! Haha, set alight! That went much better. No, Lantry died, it's fine. He's old anyway. Oh, Crimson Spear armor. Censor's grip. Oh! 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 On weapon crit. Burning. These gloves are blackened from attempts to read smoldering manuscripts in the burning library. Yes, give me those gloves. Give them to me. Oh, not that one. This one. Yes! You can have these. Yeah.
Interesting.
Chronicler's Eye. Only Lantry can equip this. Oh. Plus 10 lore. Will defense. Sure, Lantry can have that. What else did I just pick up? I got something, I didn't see what it was. Not sure. Oh, maybe I got... Oh, here we go. Obsidian Frag. That must be what I got. Now I can learn Proximate Expression. Yes! Create spells that generate an aura. Yeah, so... what auras can we do? We can... Not compatible with lightning. Is compatible with fire. Mantle of Flames. Ooh. Creates a fiery aura around the target that damages foes and removes frozen. Very cool. Get lore up to 80 and we'll use that. Guidance. Creates an aura that inspires valor. Allies receive a bonus to graze and hit precision. Cool. Healing aura. Also very cool. Value cap for skills like lore. I don't know, but it's fairly high. Weighted stance. Allies prevented from being knocked prone. Umbral glow. Aura of grave light that grants a bonus to magic defense. Cool. I feel like we should use healing aura instead of... Maybe instead of vital body? Or instead of... Restoring touch is really good. If anything, we should be using Restoring Touch more. Whenever someone's casting spells, all the sages should be saying, "Where's Restoring Touch?" Oh, I just got an achievement. Create a spell with high lore requirement. Check. Lantry's lore is significant. I don't know that he really needs the lightning, though. So let's make this one healing aura. Ho 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 ho. Staff of Hours. Iron Sabotons. Iron Saboton. Ho ho ho. Ooh, Artifact of Power. Glowing staff bears the mark of the sages. It was wielded by the hierarch of the Vellum Citadel before the Edict of Fire destroyed the ancient library fortress. The staff has passed down unknowable set numbers of hands over the centuries, and tradition dictated that every owner imbue with expression of their magical aptitude. It was often employed to preserve old documents and repair sections of the Citadel. Dark stains tell what time it was dipped in vats of ink, a doomed effort to replicate the magic behind the bottomless cistern of ink known as the Everwell. I'm going to equip this just so I can get the reputation buff for having equipped it.
Yeah, I'll just hold on to this.
Also because it looks fucking based. Okay. I'll check the botting ability. Slowing sands. Dramatically slow enemies in the targeted area. Oh, 4,500 followers. Nice. A lot of dead sages. Wow. Loot. First Sage Arwell's directive. Sage Torvin. Kairos' armies have rebuffed for now, but it's only a temporary victory. I have no doubt that we may hold these walls a good deal longer, but you must remember that the Overlord aims not to butcher the Citadel's keepers, but to destroy its secrets. Kairos is not omnipotent. Her powers may be known and understood in time, and she rightly fears the knowledge we hoard here. The Silent Archive must be protected. There is no library in the tiers that is its equal. Nothing else matters. Nothing. We may not know the Overlord's plans, but with time and research we can circumvent any of her designs. I need you to ensure that we will have the time when the moment is right. Focus your efforts on Sage Stya's theoretical forays into temporal magic. While we were right to deny such dangerous experimentation before, now is the time in which its risks are justified. Gather the Elder Sages and make your way to the lower chambers. You are to remain there until you could devise a solution to Stya's problem of scale. Halting the flow of time in a single chamber won't be sufficient if Kairos drowns us all in a storm or hurtles this library into the firmament. You must find a way to encase all the Citadel in such a spell should disaster come. Your success isn't optional. This library will be a distant memory if Kairos has her way. Should we both survive, I will be happy to congratulate you on your breakthrough. Until then, get to work. That's how they did it. That's how they protected the library from the edict. They stopped time. Sage Latotes. Latotes nuts. We can't help you with the ringing in your ears just yet, so we'll have to make you do until the conflict is over. Yes, Arwell was very explicit in his directives. I know they seem impossible, but that is the situation we face. Everyone that could interpret the Silent Archive died in last night's attack, so we're not getting any assistance in this matter. Thankfully, I do have an idea, one which requires everyone's participation. Scale is the issue. Stya's last experiment only affected as much as a small chamber. I believe we can amplify the spell's effects by repeating the motions of its sigils as a group, similar to the ritual magic used in primitive cultures that predated modern tiersmen. Sage Dangling Participle believes that this will create an exponential growth in the spell's effects, but at an expected cost to stability. Stability. I can't fucking read today. I'm inclined to agree. Also, we have no other ideas. No one else has your expertise in magical foci. You've told me countless times how minor baubles can have a profound leveling effect on spells that exceed the control of their casters. What if we use something as powerful as an artifact as the focus of the ritual? Without one, the energies involved will quickly become chaotic, almost assuredly deadly for all of us. At least with an artifact, there's a chance that Stya's spell will encompass the entire Citadel and put it into a state of stasis. In my opinion, there's only one artifact to use, and that's the Silent Archive itself. It's clearly the most potent object in this room. Sage Dangling Participle believes the Staff of Hours will suffice, but I'm not going to leave anything to chance. Better that we use the Silent Archive as our focus now and figure out how to save the retrieve it later. Not if you agree after reading this. I really hope the blast didn't take your sight as well. A nimbus of magical energy surrounds the scroll, which levitates above the central platform. You see characters on the parchment, but they seem to shift from one language to the next. Amazing! I'd suspected there was more to the Silent Archive than a simple vault. Extraordinary. This scroll must represent thousands of scholarly works. Examine. Waves of energy radiate from the scroll. billowing up toward the ceiling and fanning out to encompass the cavernous chamber. It appears the Silent Archive is an active participant in some sort of ongoing spell, one that is likely keeping the burning library standing. Removing the scroll would have disastrous effects on the active spell. This must be the time stasis spell referenced in Sage Arwell's letter. Judging by the bodies arrayed around the Silent Archive, the mages appear to have been successful in their attempts to halt the destruction of Kairos' edict, though they did not survive the process. Deconstruct the spell's focus. Wonder what that will do. Read the scroll. Surface impossible to read. You see characters from Old Verdant written over calligraphy of the Northern Empire, which transforms into words used by the nomadic tribes of ancient Azure, then into phrases of the common tongues of the Tears. This is every word ever written or uttered clashes upon the scroll. Touch of the scroll. As soon as your hand passes through the cloud encasing it, a violent tremor erupts in the hall. I'd proceed cautiously, Fatebinder. Not even these ruins should remain standing after Kairos' edict. I suspect the sages used the Silent Archive in some way to stave off destruction. Alright, let's deconstruct the spell's focus, see what that does. Sage Leote's experiments with foci clearly paid off. The spell protecting the burning library is operating at a massive scale. Its chaotic energy is currently stabilized by the Silent Archive itself. The underlying mechanism is familiar to you. It seems that any artifact of sufficient power could serve as the spell's focus. Should the need arise, you believe you could swap the Silent Archive for another item of power without disrupting the ongoing temporal magic. Let's swap. Let's assume the worst. Whatever you put on the pedestal will probably need to take the place of the Silent Archive and remain here for as long as this place stands, so choose wisely. Could use the Binding of Shadows. And then keep the staff. Do we want to keep the Staff of Hours, or do we want to keep the Binding of Shadows? What do you guys think? The spine. You can't swap it with the spine whacker. Okay, so one of these we get to keep. The one we're placing, we're basically going to lose. Do we want to keep the Staff of Hours, or do we want to keep the Binding of Shadows? Let's see them first. Okay. Here's the Binding of Shadows. Heavy armor. Gives a damage reduction and arcane bonus damage effect. It was a gift from Bled and Mark. Made of insect chitin and velvet soft darkness. The other is, of course, the Staff of Hours, the magic staff of time fuckery. So? I would think, so far as artifacts, if we were to keep the Binding of Shadows, we'd give it to Verse, because Wakefield has a light armor skill that only works if he's only wearing light armor. At least I think it does. Yeah, when wearing only light armor, bonus to dodge and parry. If we're to keep the Staff of Hours, I say we give it to Lantry, and he can do time shit. Can you do better spells than the staff will allow? No, the staff is a... the staff is an artifact. Let's give it the Binding of Shadows. You delicately remove the Silent Archive from the central pedestal, careful to replace it with another artifact in the span of a few seconds. The lines of energy flowing through the platform center warble and distort disconcertingly for a moment, accompanied by faint tremors that unsettle the molten liquid below. After a few seconds of uncertainty, the spell's magic refocuses upon the newly placed object, and its lines of energy once again resume their stable flow upward and out to the rest of the burning library. All that remains is to take the artifact outside. Once the Silent Archive has crossed the threshold to the exterior, it's likely you will fulfill Kairos' mandate to remove all forbidden knowledge from the Vellum Citadel. Heh. There it is, Silent Archive. +1 wits, +1 resolve, +10 trap detection. Hell yeah. Let's do... Let's swap with the bangle. You can have the bangle. Alright, there we go. We got the Silent Archive. Just carrying it around now. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, Falkenstein? Despite being the focus, it's not itself an archive. Or, not archive, an artifact. Okay, we did it. Can feel vibrating in Beastwoman's bones. Kairos' mystic words are shattered. Still, a place called Burning Library stands. The air surrounding you begins to thin. The smell of embers begins to diminish. The clouds of smoke slowly word missing, revealing the sky beyond them. Oh, 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 oh! You feel a powerful pulse of warm energy burst from the Silent Archive. Sound disappears into deafening silence. Your vision blurs and you're overcome by a dizziness that knocks you off your feet. Then, as quickly as it hits you, the feeling passes. The air around you begins to settle. The particles of fire and ash that moments ago stung your eyes dissipate with a chilly gust. With the Silent Archive removed from the burning library, the Edict of Fire is extinguished, and its warmth feels pulled into your very chest, a sensation similar to the weightlessness when the Edict of Execution broke at Ascension Hall. While I'm all in favor of undoing the Overlord's magic, this whole Edict of Fire couldn't have happened to a shittier gaggle of scum suckers. Still, the fires could have spread elsewhere in time, so you did the right thing. Reeks of ash and rotted trees. Hurts to breathe. So much knowledge turned to smoke and ash. Ending the edict can't undo the damage, but perhaps now this place can be rebuilt. I hope future scholars can unearth whatever remaining books and scrolls are still buried within. The shape and intensity of the fires leap in your mind. Details of the mighty incantation, the wording, the magical logic of the flames, all are seared in your mind with perfect recall. The Edict of Fire is now a part of you. As the edict fills you with its power, you feel the inferno inside the burning library begin to wane. Temperatures start to cool, lakes of lava recede, and internally burning fires flicker and fade. It may take time before the burning library is referred to as the Vellum Citadel again, but ending the edict will allow access to knowledge thought to be lost forever. Alright. We did it. We did it, guys.
On it.
We did it, Reddit. Now we still gotta fight our way out of this fucking... Fight the chorus, guys. Fuck you!
More bodies to pile in our wake!
Oh, he's gonna explode! Oof. Oh yeah, let's give Lantry the staff.
Whoops, I broke it. Oh, just kidding.
You son of a bitch, Lantry!
Right.
More bodies to pile in our wake!
Splat. I want to find out how to get up here. Oh, loot. I missed the loot. Garbage, garbage, garbage. Oh, yeah. Can Hire someone to sell stuff. He sounds useful. He sounds really useful. He sounds really useful, but can't afford him yet. Smith, who produces weapons, sounds pretty useful. Yeah, that'll do for now. Alright, let's report to Bled and Mark. Beside the road, you espy a cart. The vehicle is abandoned with one wheel broken free of its axle. Several crates and sacks remain piled on the small wagon while a pair of boxes rest in the grass beside it. Let's approach. As you approach, you see the cart boasts 4 wheels, or did before the loss of the back left one, and a long leather tack and harness for a beastman hauler. One of the crates that fell to the ground broke open along its edge, and fruits spilled onto the ground. You immediately notice the sundered hauler harness, likely the result of a bladed weapon. The broken wheel, too, appears less the consequence of accident than human endeavor. The spattering of dark, dried blood across the board cinches your suspicion this cart came under attack, yet the goods remain. The attackers are still here. Prepare for attack. You draw your weapon and enter a defensive crouch, peering toward the tree line in expectation of an ambush. Surely enough, you make out flickers of movement through the brush. The initiative is yours, however. Steal away or ambush the ambushers? Let's ambush the ambushers. Ha! Driving your assault to the tearsmen in battered leathers and mismatched bronze, who mistakenly believed they could get the drop on you. Boom! Got him. Fuck you guys. Thought you could sneak up on me. Ooh, a missive from the voices of Narat. Fuel for the flame. Dearest Fatebinder, champion of Tunon's Gabble, slayer of choirmen, we hope you recognize that we bear you no ill will. Who understands treachery if not the Archon of Secrets? We've always held the very highest esteem for the work of other specialists in the arts duplicitous. Make no mistake, dear Fatebinder, after your little performance at Vendrian's Well, and with such a flair for theatrical illumination, you have ascended in our estimate. We trust you will understand that when we peel the flesh from your bones and squeeze the bile from your quivering innards, it's strictly out of artistic integrity and the courtesy owed a fellow professional. Nothing personal at all. But enough about our friendly rivalry. Do you enjoy the company of our little spy? Her dance never fails to inspire in us the most pleasant quivers. We have a gift for her, delivered through you due to the girl's questionable faculty with letters. We've learned from one of our birds that a mercenary in Haven has been absolutely gloating about slaying her sisters. His boasts even secured him work defending some crossing merchant. Show her the sigils on the reverse. She'll know what they mean. The voices of Narat, Archon of Secrets, and Master of Cacophony. The opposite page contains several rough ink-scratched symbols that look like nothing more than a child's pictograph of their favorite animals. Send thanks, inquire further, threaten him, or respond rudely. Send thanks. Archon of Secrets, receiving your missive was an unexpected pleasure. I shall see to it that Verse is informed. Doubtless this will end in blood. Fatebinder Wakefield. Alternatively, inquire further. Archon of Secrets, no doubt you intend your message to elicit violence and chaos. That's standard for you, however, so I'm left to wonder what else do you hope to accomplish. Threaten him. Narat, I don't know yet what you have planned for Verse, but I promise to unravel it. As you watch your little plot collapse upon itself, imagine what it'll do to your grandest designs before I bring my blades to you. Fatebinder Wakefield. Gain minor wrath. Respond rudely. Dear Archon of Secrets, with all due respect, shove off. Fatebinder Wakefield. Alright, how should we respond, chat? How should we respond? Inquire? Yeah, inquire. Keep to business. I agree. We must remain an impartial agent of the court. Alright, so what else do you hope to accomplish? Send. Right, meanwhile... Shove off is pretty... Yeah, the rude responses are hilarious, but I rarely do them. Stealth mode.
Quiet down.
Okay, so let's send Kills and Shadow to deal with that guy. He'll go there. He'll go there. And she'll sit up there.
It's time to hunt, slaughter, kill!
Take that.
Nope, Kills and Shadow. Kills and Shadow. Kill him from shadows. Nice! The fire didn't work. The fire didn't rise. Oh god. There we go. Let's get a little mirror image up. Flurry of blows.
Right.
Searing palm. Alright, now let's loot the bodies. So the cart had some stuff. The cart over here had some stuff. Oh, some cool helms. Sentinel helm. Deft blade helm. Ooh, that sounds cool. And it's an improvement, I think. It is an improvement. Yeah, I think it's an improvement. Oh, that's cool. Nightfaller cask. Ooh. Black enamel that coats this helmet is chipped away, exposing the iron beneath. Shame it's heavy armor, because that'd be cool for Wakefield. Why is it yellow? That's stupid. That's so stupid. Hide helmet. There we go. That's so stupid. Why is it yellow? Someone beat
I got it.
Yeah. Well, it gives plus accuracy, so I'm keeping it. Ooh, dagger! What does this do? Heart of battle. Ooh. Minus 10% recovery time while I have wounds. This dagger was shaped by hands eager to wield it. Some of that intentionality seems to have led to the crafting. Okay. It's not great for armor penetration, but it's a significant increase to damage per second and accuracy. So let's keep the iron falcata, and we'll swap this for the oathbound dagger. Oh, it's bronze, that's why. Well, in that case, maybe we keep that for armor penetration. And we... well... no, here's what we do. Here's what we do. We keep the oathbound dagger. Yeah, and then we go dual dagger. So we got this thing for DPS. We got this thing for armor piercing. Oh, and then we can have, for backup, we can have Blood Chanter Staff for backup. Praise Zorg. Alright, Mark, where are you? Oh wait, let's talk to...
That's twice now you've undone one of Kairos' edicts. If you're trying to invite the wrath of the Overlord, good job. The sages have their share of enemies, and there are some that may have thought the Edict of Fire a suitable fate. Regardless of what the sages do or don't deserve, the knowledge in the Vellum Citadel belongs to all of us. And Kairos' destruction of that knowledge is what really tangles my line. Breaking the Edict of Fire is a signal to Taratus. The Overlord can be defied. The punishments can be overturned. More specifically, you are the one who can undo the Overlord's whims. What is it you need?
Okay, that'll do for now. Now what do you think, Lantry?
That's twice now. By Kyros's icy nethers, twice! Edicts have been broken before, but never in all my many years have I heard of one person doing it twice.
Anybody could do it. Just think about the wording of the edict and you'll find Kairos select options.
That's like saying winning a war is as simple as raising a giant army and making all the right maneuvers. Knowing what must be done and actually doing it, well, that's the dividing line between being a legend and being forgotten.
On it.
Oh, hi, Mark.
You're not dead yet? Good. Keep this up, as I have no interest in searching the shadows for your corpse.
Know this darkness. No shape of shadow that killed Beast Woman Archon.
I promise it was nothing personal.
There was a Beast Woman Archon?
Shadow slew Beast Woman, not from Shadow Hunter tribe, but from Haven lands. So also will be nothing personal when Kills in Shadow rends Archon's belly into red, gaping maw.
I've caught a few glimpses of what you did back there with the Edict of Fire. Did you mean to channel the magic of the Edict?
Not sure what you mean.
You don't? From my vantage point, the torrents of arcane fire didn't just vanish. They roiled and billowed like smoke. I could have sworn you were channeling that energy. Perhaps the magic was seeking you. Whatever the case, you seem a little different. You smell of brimstone and crisped parchment. You are different than before you broke the edict. I will leave it at that. Either way, you filch the Silent Archive and can benefit from its influence. To be honest, even I don't know the full extent of what knowledge it can offer you, but I do know the sages poured lifetimes of effort into it. I imagine the archive was at its most useful when it was still a part of the library, before the edict did a number on it. But even now, it has a myriad of secrets to share. Can you hear its whispers? No? Then listen harder, kid.
I was never allowed to see the Silent Archive when it was in working order, but I knew there were elaborate rituals to put information into the archive, or to ask a specific question of it. You are holding the physical vessel of the Silent Archive, and while I doubt it was designed to be used outside of the chamber where it's been housed for centuries, I'm told sages who used to work with the archive reported it would speak to them in their dreams. In the benign educational sense, not in the go crazy and eat your family sense of things. I'm sure it's perfectly safe.
Option 2, but it whispers sweet nothings to me. Mark says I'll benefit possessing it. I'm sure there's nothing to worry about.
You need to be a lot more threatening than you are now, and a little study and practice won't suffice. You'll need to aim bigger. You'll need to track down the relics of tears that escaped capture in the war. In the Blade Grave, the Stone Sea, and Haven each, there lies at least one artifact that can aid such an aura. Be prepared to travel far and wide in the effort to recover them. Aside from the practical point of getting you armed, uncovering these relics could lend you some legitimacy in the eyes of the Tearsmen, depending on how you go about it, of course.
Well, I'm headed to Lethian's Crossing. Is there something there I should look for?
Tunon has sent a forge-bound master to the crossing, and this mage-smith has just finished work on a masterpiece dubbed the Magebane. It's an iron helmet infused with wards against the Bane. While this is intended to help keep the settlement free of scourges from the nearby old walls, it would be of great use to you personally. Call it a hunch, but I'm betting you'll find the Magebane's creator, Zedenya, sweating over the fires of Lethian's forge. And while I doubt you can just convince her to hand you the helm, her knowledge of it could prove helpful to your little heist. The crossing is by a junction in the old walls, so you'll have a chance to put the helmet's Bane ward to the test. When you're ready, meet me here once more. We'll discuss what's next.
Wait, I have a question. Again with the questions. What do you want to know? What should we ask him? No, we can't do them in order, Whacker, because he'll only answer a few of them. He'll answer like one or two and then he'll leave. So we gotta pick. 3. Yeah, tell me about the other Archons. Perhaps you should ask the questions directly, but I suppose I could divulge a bit. Depends on whom you had in mind. What are your thoughts on Graven Ash? 1 and 4? Okay. Start with 1. Tell me about Tunon. What needs to be said? The old man's a creature of parchment and precedent. There have been hopes and dreams in there. There may have been hopes and dreams in there, but he's just a vessel for the law, a puppet of Kairos. Which makes me a puppet of a puppet, but at least I'm not the one forced to tend court all day. What exactly is your duty to him and vice versa? It's changed over the years. Back before the others realized I'm not a furniture-chewing sociopath, Tunon was a close observer and warden, but now he's my high justicar and I his executioner. Truth be told, it's been a pleasant working arrangement for a couple centuries now. Tunon does most of the talking, I live in my shadowy corner until someone needs killing. It's not like I want to be the figurehead atop a dais, the only attention I want is folks whispering my name in fear so I'm left alone. What, you don't much care for him? Oh, I didn't say that. There's just a question of what behind the mask is a person and what's a regurgitation of Kairos' words. I have immense respect for Tunon, but I've known him for centuries and couldn't tell you who taught him magic. I assume Kairos, or which side of his bread is buttered, and I just assume he's got nothing on I just assume he's got nothing on under that robe. What's the story with Tunon? Tunon's been with Kairos even longer than I. Story goes Kairos started marching towards Tunon's little village. Of course, he wasn't named Tunon then. Anyway, our masked master-to-be gets it in his head the only way to save his villagers and himself is to adopt the Overlord's laws before the troops arrive. I'd pay good rings to see how that suggestion first went over with the other villagers. Well, guess Kairos took a shine to this easy convert, and the rest is history. But it's worth noting, Tunon never told me a word of this. This is me flapping my jaw with hearsay, as Kalia would put it. There's some affection for him? Affection? Are you mistaking me for some sort of old butcher with a heart of sunshine? I respect Tunon's consistency in reasoning, and do not mistake that for anything approaching fondness. Something else. What do you know about Kairos? He shrugs. I know more about Kairos than most, which means I know enough to keep my mouth shut. Why do you think the Overlord is allowing the Archons to fight? Huh. I was expecting a dumber question. Kairos sure can appear fickle. Cairn was treacherous and vocal about it and gets an edict dropped on his head. The voices in Ash openly bicker and Kairos just watches. If you don't know the Overlord, it can all seem random and erratic. But I assure you, Kairos is nothing if not deliberate. I would guess Kairos is tired of the Archons of war and secrets. There's no need for both, and so why not let their natural lack of rapport solve itself by allowing the stronger to slay the weaker? How did the Overlord come to power? Such things were before my time, but from what I understand, Kairos did not enjoin the Archons with charisma and cooperation. It was the power of the edict that terrified many into bowing. Once a trio of Archons answered to Kairos, it became a matter of time until all others bowed. Many have long wondered if Kairos was born with the power of the edict or if it was learned through training or experience. I know not. It would surprise me little to learn the Overlord was born able to utter edicts, if the Overlord was indeed born. I have my doubts. How did you come to serve the Overlord? Where I come from, there's an old saying, if you strike at the chieftain, don't miss. If you come at the king, you best not miss. I struck at Kairos and didn't kill her with the first blade. Didn't get a chance with the second. Ah, says Kairos is a she. Admit it. I'll admit anything you want me to. See, lying's easy. Let's go back in there. Why did you try and kill Kairos? Why not? Because I thought I could. Because I imagined I'd have all the wealth, sex, servants, and lands I'd want if I succeeded. My powers weren't what they are today, but in my youthful exuberance I felt unstoppable. Let's dig in again. So what penance were you made to serve? I assumed I'd be drawn and quartered, but instead I was offered vassalage. To some that means servitude, but to me it means steady contracts and legal impunity, so I accepted my punishment and the rest has been history. What stopped you from trying again? Sometimes you ask really good questions. Glares silently. It's in my own interest that Kairos lives. No other liege is worthy of my service, and I certainly have no desire to wear a crown. Service with the Overlord suits me quite well. I've no desire to ruin our thing. What's the Overlord like in person? That's what you want to know? Kid, you should be worried about what the Overlord is like from afar, not one to suffer fools lightly. Enough questions for now. Oh, there he goes. Okay. Ooh, a missive from Fatebinder Rugalis. Fatebinder Wakefield. Forgive me the curtness of this rust missive. The matter is too urgent for the luxury of formalities. I know you braved the flaming ruins of the Velum Citadel. The archive. Did you find it? Is it safe? Rugalis. We could lie, tell him you destroyed it. I consign the knowledge hidden in the archive to flame as per the Overlord's restrictions. Surely you expect nothing less of me. Lie. I did not find the object of which you speak. Perhaps the Overlord's edict reduced it to ashes, or perhaps it never existed at all. Or you seem to possess more than a passing familiarity with the Silent Archive. I thought it was something of a secret. Perhaps an exchange of information is in order. Tell me what you know of it, and I can provide you with its current whereabouts. Rugalis is the Fatebinder of lore. He's the elder of the four Fatebinders in Tunon's court. He's the wizard. There's the wizard, the fighter, and the rogue. We spoke to him when we were at the Bastard City. I think we should send this one. I think we should tit for tat. What do you think, chat? Yeah, alright. Yeah, that's right. Like Falconstein said, he's also the mentor of the PC Fatebinder. Like Rugalis is the one who taught Wakefield basically everything. Alright, let's send it.
I got it.
Is it secret? Is it safe? Let us return to the mountain spire. Because it's glowing. Hey, we have responses. Response from the voices of Narat. Ah, Fatebinder, you wound us. Have we ever needed an incentive beyond violence and chaos? If we have an ulterior motive, it is merely to see what verse does with our gift. She is well practiced in both of those qualities, and we take incredible pleasure in observing her development. Set aside your paranoia and share in our delight, Wakefield. The voices of Narat. Ah, from Regulus. Fatebinder Wakefield. You have me under Mark's blade. I possess only scraps regarding the archive, fragments gleaned from oblique references across a dozen texts. The sages sought a way to preserve all knowledge they collected, yet have it easily accessible to those they felt worthy of their secrets. I have found no reliable references to what solution they eventually settled on, but there certainly exist indications that they implemented something. Several documents intercepted over the years, some as recently as the Conquest of the Tears, make reference to sages bearing their discoveries to the Vellum Citadel as tributes to be paid to the Silent Archive. The manner in which they wrote of it, I half expect you to tell me that the archive is a living person, some sage volunteer kept alive, or else in a state very like life, though the guild's arts of preservation and healing, their mind forcefully filled to its borders with every stroke of ink set to parchment, compelled through sigils of domination to reveal what they know to those bearing secret signs. I enter the realm of speculation, I fear, for we have exhausted what little evidence I have. Keep me in suspense no longer, Wakefield. What became of the archive? So we don't have the option to tell him the truth, apparently. Should we tell him that we destroyed it? Or that we never found it? He won't believe... why not? I don't know. I don't know why not. I'm not sure why we don't have the option to tell him. It is forbidden knowledge. Oh, yeah, maybe that's why. Maybe if we told him it would be, yeah. Go destroy it makes sense since the edict ended. That's true, yeah. If we say we never found it, then why would the edict have ended? Yeah, so that's the lie that's most consistent. I consign the knowledge in the Silent Archive to the Flamers per the Overlord's restrictions. Surely you expected nothing less of me. Okay. What's up, Varric?
It is rare enough that anyone has the opportunity to proclaim an edict, much less break one. How are you holding up, Fatebinder?
To be honest, my head hurts.
That is to be expected. I am no expert in arcane matters, but I understand that the will and commitment needed to shatter Kairos' magic are not resources in abundance. Take care that you don't exhaust yourself and become worthless to the war effort. What can I do for you?
You seem like a more than capable fighter. Did you proclaim the Edict of Fire in the prologue? Yes! Yes, I did. Praise Zorg. I did indeed.
It's true. Packmate has survived many more killing blows than other ironclad beastwoman has slaughtered. Makes beastwoman's blood beat quick. Makes for best hunt, yep. Packmate should show skills to help her and kills in shadow.
I trained with the spear and shield in my youth, but gave it up the day I earned his favorite iron. I could still throw with some accuracy, but it's a challenge these days. Why, were you interested in a sparring session? I heard a rumor that Ash is an unbeatable sword-fighting technique. You flatter the Legion's reputation, but the Archon does make sure we are competent swordsmen. Observe. Hey, Barrack trains us in one-handed weapons. Nice. What do you think of our companions? What do you think of kills in shadow?
Do speak, Ironclad. Tell to Beastwoman each and every thought hidden behind Iron Shadow. Say words that will surely incite Beastwoman to violence.
Calm down, Kills.
She snarls, but obeys.
A fascinating specimen, to be sure, though I'm loath to tolerate beastmen serving under the banner of Kairos. Even I must admit her strength and tenacity have inspired me. What do you think of Ebb? She is as opinionated and talented as she is vulgar. Much as we can disagree on the reasons behind the war, I have never found a more impressive example of a tearsman. I admit to also finding her quite striking. Whenever she makes a jab at me or Kairos or the Legion, in spite of whatever I might say in my defense, I am pleased to have captured her interest. But I would not have her know my thoughts in this matter. She's a Southern savage after all, and I a decorated soldier. No need to overcomplicate our feelings in a time of war. Ask about verse, okay. I try not to. She is a force of chaos, an agent of the voices of Narat. Taking her into our confidence could only lead to ruin. And yet she is a capable fighter. For the time being, I am confident you can trust her to serve your interests and rely on her skills in the battlefield. How about Lantry? I don't know how many years he's walked the face of Tyrannus, but he clearly knows more than he claims to. Since he claims to know a great deal indeed, there's no limit to what he could be holding back. Alright, what's your connection with Verse?
We are siblings. Half-siblings. Regrettable and repugnant as that fact might seem, it is true. Though the products of different nations and cultures, we have the distinction of sharing a father. I am disgusted by the thought that my father lay down with some low-born southern farmhand. But my horror does not spare me from the truth of it. So I accept the fact and try to move on.
You should take it as a compliment to our father's skills. My mother's a tough woman to please. I rather think I took after him, don't you?
Do you even like each other?
Not particularly. She is unstable at the best of times, and a hardened killer at the worst. I don't know what her family did to her, but she lacks any pretense of human decency.
It takes one to know one. Don't act like we're so different, Barrack. You're the most repressed and intolerant soldier I've ever met. You hide it under duty and pride, but it's still there.
How did you become aware of this?
During the conquest, the Scarlet Chorus made sport of shooting down messenger birds on their way to the disfavored camp. Anything they could accomplish to hinder our efforts or embarrass us was fair game. My father sent a missive intended for my eyes alone.
Yeah, some distance, right?
Chance, Verse intercepted it and recognized the name and handwriting.
I like doing these conversations on the Spire because if you do them in the field, they'll only talk to each other if they're in the same party. But here, everybody gets to jump in. It's great.
She found me in camp that evening, and we discussed our unlikely situation. We've done everything in our power to keep the word quiet. Not many in the Legion know that I share blood with a Southerner, much less a chorus rat.
Don't worry, Barrack. When my old gang boss caught wind of our discovery, I killed her and took the gang for myself. Our secret's safe with me. Well, it was, anyway.
How has this affected you, Barrack?
Well, Verse has a nasty habit of jabbering in my ear and making this war intolerable. I plan on parting ways and returning to the north at first convenience. My father will answer for his infidelity. Beyond that, I am happy to consider myself in every way unaffected. My superiors once accused me of having an impulsive streak, but I have worked to suppress it at every turn.
When you go back home, send Father my fondest greetings and thanks. If he hadn't gone to ground on my mother's dry dock, I might not be here today.
My heritage was a point of pride and distinction before I met you,
I
Verse.
love how they
That you
banter.
would care.
Have you noticed an impact, Verse?
I've asked myself about that several times, but unfortunately I don't have what you'd call a definitive answer. The Northerners put a lot of meaning behind family and blood. Seems arbitrary to me, but I don't want to discredit it entirely. There have been times when I acted strangely on the battlefield and could find no reason why, or gotten distracted and had thoughts I couldn't explain. I suppose there's no telling for sure, but if I had to guess... yeah. Sometimes I get messed up in my head, and learning I had a brother has helped me understand that better.
Hey, new people. Hey, Binder, let's take a look at this. I've got a Beastman cub in here. Uh-huh. You're not falling for that old pearl, are you? Revo's at your service. I've come into possession of some items that might be of interest. Are these stolen? No. No in the sense that they aren't stolen, but yes in the sense that I'm not entirely, licensed. Wait. Before you throw me to Tunon's dungeons or worse, consider this. We aren't standing on Tyrannus. We're standing high above any citizen who's subject to the Overlord's law, and this place couldn't possibly be subject to the same rules that govern down there. Don't presume to understand Kairos' will. I need to consider the legalities. In the meantime, I'll take a look at your goods. Hey! Upgraded Fatebinder armor, nice. Alright, let's sell some of this junk we got. We're not selling anything here. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Don't need that, don't need that, don't need that. Probably don't need these either. Yeah, let's just get rid of them all. Armor. Get rid of the shitty ones. I do like to collect armor, though. So I'm just kind of eyeballing the good versions of the ones that I have. And then vendor trash. Is there a button for vendor trash, Falkenstein? No, I'm saving it for Barrack. Also, I like to collect armor. Yeah, there's no button to just mass sell the vendor trash, is there? You gotta do it by hand. Okay, directed force, is that it? Yes. That's the one, isn't it, Falkenstein? Directed force is the cone one? No, see, Falkenstein in the Bastard's Wound expansion added a side quest to get Barrack out of his armor, and I have already initiated that side quest. I don't think you can clear it till Act 2, though. Or no, Act 3, I think. Okay. Directed expression. Excellent. Trade. Let's learn cone spells. Alright, here we go. Fire. There it is. Twisting Flame. Oh, this is a different one. This isn't the cone. This is a straight line. Direct an entwining wave of flame across the battlefield. That's cool. I like that. Let's do that one. What else can we do? Ball lightning. Mischievous mask. Frightened, blinded, and confused. Cool. Can you do me a favor, Falkenstein? Can you look up where to get the cone one? Path of Frost. That's all we can do for now. I agree, but we don't have the we'll get the rain from the sky one later, Whacker, and we'll give it fire, and we'll just have like fiery rain from the sky. It'll be great. Is it limited to how many spells you can have ready? Yes, that limit is based on lore, I think, although some other talents modify it. For instance, these guys have 5. Wakefield's got 4. Kills has 1. Anyway, we got a message from Callio. A question of balance. Fatebinder. Allow me to be the first to congratulate you on resolving the situation at the Burning Library. Fatebinder Rogul. Challenge strength. Thank you. Can you look up where to find it? Fatebinder Regulus could not be more pleased by your choice to preserve the texts and relics of the old sages. Or perhaps he's overjoyed their grip on the library is now entirely broken. In either case, he almost borders on giddy. Almost. I do not share his loathing of the old guild. They built their own pyre on their hubris, true, but my opposition to them remains purely professional. It gladdens me that not their every myriad secret met the flame. I even suspect that an ambitious Fatebinder would have collected a few stray scraps of lore, perhaps as much as they could carry out. I hope you soon make an effort to join us at court in the Bastard City. I often feel it has been too long since we last whispered of the darker corners of Tyrannus. You've experienced so many of them as late, perhaps I can provide illumination. Oh, in the chorus camp, is that the only place? Shit. Then I guess I missed it. I guess I'll have to research it. You can get it through research later, can't you? Maybe, we'll see. Hope I can get it through research later. Corpse Eye. Well, if it ain't the big bad boss, come to look at my wares. Handpicked from the finest of battlefield corpses, I can assure you. What'll it be, boss? Let's see what's in stock. Some cool stuff. Chorus gear, mostly. That's neat. Ooh. Oh yeah, let's oh, we can't adjust versus equipment because she's not in the party. Mr. Kendrick. Let's put you to work making some weapons, shall we? Oh, come check back later. Okay. Reverse.
Couldn't help but notice the bird from Cacophony.
How'd you know where that bird came from?
The voiceless birds have a certain hollowness to their movements, like puppets, or the fifth eye. But seriously, what's the boss want from us now?
Want to read it?
Maybe summarize it for me?
He says someone's been bragging about your sisters. Know what he means by that?
Wait, what? He found one of the shits who killed my Furies? Let's pack up and go.
He also included a series of code glyphs. This one's Wealth, I suspect, but I can't read the others.
You know about code glyphs? How charmingly disreputable of you. There's a lot to love about spycraft. The trickery, the blade work, keeping your senses awake, balancing on the edge between confusion and discovery. Memorizing the Archon's childish pictographs is not my favorite part. Malfora. She's one of Harshion's people. Bit boring, but gossipy in the way that pays. We should be able to find her along the road to Lethian's Crossing.
And she's just gonna trust us?
The voices gave us the passphrases that will get Malfora to open up to us. When we find her, let me do the talking and everything should run smooth as sea glass. This will feel good, Finder. Wildly, incredibly, stupidly good.
The Archon's sudden interest in your revenge doesn't seem suspicious to you?
Are you asking me if I trust the voices of Nerat, Archon of Secrets, Spy Master, Arcane Pillar of Green Smoke and Flame, Immortal Magician, Eater of Minds, and Connoisseur of Perversions? Of course not. But if it's some convoluted trap, I'll have your back and you'll have mine, right?
Yeah, you can ask Barrick to train with Verse. I'm gonna see if I can get
Lead
that done.
the way.
How does it feel not to have a given voice to the Overlord's will, but you're breaking Kairos' magic left and right? I'm only serving the interests of the mission. Sticking to your priorities is a good way to stay alive, but I wonder if you should be more reckless. Yeah, Diggs, look, if it ever looks like your strength is flagging, I'll put you out of your misery and take control. Cheer up. I imagine she pats you on the back there.
What do you need?
Let's duel.
That would be an understatement, and I thought you'd never ask. Since you're obviously at a huge disadvantage, I'll let you pick our weapon of choice.
Knives, 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 knives.
Exotic. Good choice. I'll leave you to guess which one is my dominant hand.
Dual wield skill ranks, hell yeah.
You held your own. Call me impressed. Need anything else, or did I tire you out?
Let's talk about our travels.
What did you have in mind?
Why have you chosen to travel with me?
Well, if you're baiting me for a compliment, you're talking to the wrong girl. I don't have a gang anymore, and I wouldn't throw in my lot with any of the killers floating around the Scarlet Chorus ranks. The fact of the matter is you're doing important work, even if you stumble and flail along the way. If that puts me at odds with my Scarlet Chorus ties, so be it. I'm not such a camp follower that I don't look after my interests first. And I find you interesting. You've satisfied your curiosity, so let me satisfy mine. Why are you keeping a little scrap of a thing like me around?
Easy. You're a hardened killer. That's reason enough.
I wonder what makes you so sure I won't cut your throat some evening just to hear you gurgle. It's taking a risk when you travel with someone like me. I suppose time will tell.
I've turned on my share of friends, but never on that scale. Tell me of Barrick. Okay. No, I know how to get it done.
Go ahead, Fatebinder.
Tell me of yourself.
If you insist. I'm a Scarlet Fury. That should raise some flags for you. It means that I'm good at killing, and more importantly, that I enjoy it. What I won't enjoy are the pleasures of funerary rites packed with weeping mourners. Someday I'll fall in battle, and then they'll roll me into a mass grave or heap me atop a shit-stained wagon. One more anonymous, knife-riddled piece of meat. Until then, I plan to take whatever I can from life and have a little fun along the way.
What is the significance of your feathers? My mother kept a messenger bird, Witterbeak. He was an angry old bastard spoiled from living the high life. Squawked at my window every single night, pecked my fingers while I fed him only the fattest, juiciest mice. When I left the farm to join the chorus, I wrung that ungrateful little fucker like a dish rag, plucked his feathers, and gave his carcass to the mice. Felt like justice. I also like how the feathers catch the breeze. Helps me keep my balance, especially when I'm moving fast. Tell me of your life before the chorus. What life? As far as I'm concerned, I didn't exist before the chorus. There was some girl on a farm wearing my face and talking with my voice, but she wasn't me. Sometimes she would sneak out at night, take a scythe, and have some fun with the livestock. Our shared interest began and ended there. When the Scarlet Chorus swept through my village on their long trek from the bastard city, and that was when I finally woke up. I buried my old life, took red vengeance on anyone who'd wronged me, and found the freedom I could only dream was out there. What about your parents? My mother ran a successful farm, and I worked for a number of years before I found the chorus. She was a hard, bitter woman, acted like the world owed her something. She never talked about my father, though I figured out a thing or two about him later on. He was a merchant from the Northern Empire who took a liking to her, and she him. He stayed around only long enough to get what he wanted. Of course, we're all up to date on that little scandal, aren't we? Barrick's a whoremonger of a father likes to plant his seed in soil far from home, and who can blame him? If you would not speak well of him, then I beg you say nothing at all. How did you get conscripted? How did I think you have the wrong idea about me? The chorus didn't take me as a sobbing maid. I strode into their camp and enlisted. Someone tossed me a dented blade. I lived through the initiation, spent a week butchering my neighbors, and moved on into my kin. Didn't waste time with goodbyes. My mother had long since died, and the rest of my family were louses. The girl I used to be, even she knew she was worth more than all of them combined. Tell me about your time with the chorus.
The Scarlet Chorus is mostly for madmen and peasants with rusty daggers, but it's also a little niche of freedom that I never had. Once I survived training and met my Scarlet Fury sisters, I saw a different side of the howling mob.
Who are your sisters? Who were they would be more appropriate. Three Whispers, Red Geezer, and Seeking Sheath. Best fighters I ever met. There wasn't a foe we couldn't take down together. Our fighting styles complemented perfectly, so we divided up the killing work like bards sharing a song. At least we used to. Three Whispers. She was as calm as the surface of a pond, and light on her feet. More than one foe tripped and fell on their own blade due to Whisper's crafty footwork. Red Geezer. A one-woman siegebreaker. She would launch herself at foes like a battering ram. Not even a disfavored phalanx could have withstood that dumb, suicidal wrench. Kairos' eyes, but she was something to behold. That girl could pass a spear through 12 rings from the far side of a battlefield. Kairos helped any foe who approached her marching single file. She made a game of spitting as many soldiers as possible on the same javelin. What happened to them? We were scouting around Vendrian's well during the siege, back when we only suspected the guard of organizing in secret. My sisters and I came upon a group of them, or Kairos knows maybe they found us. No one said anything. We drew iron and bronze. That was when everything went wrong. I was supposed to take point and occupy the guard with a dance of blade work, something disorienting while my sisters picked their marks. I hesitated. I lost my nerve. Instead of rushing the Oathbreakers, I froze with my weapon drawn. My sisters fought on without me, but they were off balance, like whatever I had was catching. They died. I lived. My sisters were relying on me to lead the dance, and I failed them. One or two. One or two. Be nice and gain fear, or be mean and gain loyalty? Let's go with... be a jerk and get laid. Yeah, right. Your actions are inexcusable for a fighter of your station. You're absolutely right. If I'd witnessed the same one of my sisters, I might even have killed her for endangering the rest of us. Good thing for me they didn't get the chance. You do not get laid in this game. False. Hesitation is a rot. It's unbecoming of any chorus member and unheard of in the Scarlet Fury. I'd cut it from my body and cauterize the wound if only I knew its source. Do you think you hesitated because of your connection with Barrick? Reach maximum loyalty of the companion. Ching. Yeah, it's a tough thing to imagine, but I think that what Barrick and I share goes deeper than blood. He's in my head somewhere, and I'm in his. If what you say is true, our connection was active before we even met. You sure have a knack for getting to the bottom of people, Fatebinder. Be careful with that.
What do you need to know?
Tell me your training.
For new recruits shoved to the front lines, training means surviving the first battle. Anything beyond that is for the fighters who show potential, whether as blade dancers or arcane madmen. There's nothing in the world like getting put through the paces as a Scarlet Fury. Every day is a test of your commitment and passion. Failure means death. The first few weeks were the hardest, but also the most rewarding. I earned my name, picked up some quality weapons, and met my sisters.
You earned your name? If you think a simple farmer from the Tears would name her child Verse, I suggest you visit my old village. Most of them were walking around with surnames like Barrel or Fish, not the most creative bunch. The chorus takes your name away. Whoever you were before, you aren't that person anymore. Then you earn your name back through great deeds, usually murderous ones. That's why you see choirmen walking around with names like Stinkmouse or Face First. There's probably a good reason for it. The Voices of Narat gave me this name. When the Scarlet Chorus runs howling into battle, he doesn't hear war, he hears a symphony. And when I fight with blade or bow, he told me that my music stands out louder than anyone else's, and contains too many parts to be easily defined, excuse me. When you least suspect it, the Archon of Secrets can be downright charming. When I was a kid, it didn't take me long to realize I was a natural. I could pick up a rusty kitchen knife and skewer a rat from across the room. The Scarlet Chorus gave me opportunities to further educate myself. My sisters were always a bit surprised by how quickly I took to different fighting styles.
The elite fighters of the Scarlet Chorus. Your typical Horde recruit fights with a
Yeah, we're
rusty
getting to that,
spoon and a
Falkenstein.
chip on his shoulder, but the Scarlet Furies are, well, different.
I'm thinking ahead, Falkenstein. I'm thinking ahead to I'm gonna do the thing. You know the thing? With Verse? I'm gonna do the thing. That's how I'm gonna do that.
We focus our madness. We coordinate, we kill, we dance. It's like art. Imagine a sculpture that twisted in weird, beautiful angles, and then gutted you too fast for you to realize what was happening.
Does actually sound kind of cool.
It is, as I remind myself all the time. The most important day of my life was when the Voices of Narat recognized my potential and sent me to Scarlet Fury training. What do you need to know?
You hesitated when you brought up fighting styles. Why? Notice that, did you? It's a matter I'm not used to discussing, mostly because I don't know how. I mentioned before that I'm good at picking up different weapons and fighting techniques. The truth is, I'm better than good. I could flay a man so cleanly that I'd leave a single strip of skin behind. He wouldn't even need to be tied down. This was one of the first things I discovered about myself after joining the Scarlet Chorus. The Voices of Narat recognized it in me as well, which is why he singled me out for Scarlet Fury training. Have you tried that flying trick? Let's just say we ran out of canvas for pitching tents, the fifth eye handed me a knife and pointed me to the prison pens. My sisters were the masters of their fighting forms, but since they died, my style has changed, almost like I could kill as they did. I could pick up a bow, a lance, anything really. I could tear someone to pieces with a weapon I only watched my sisters use. Don't know what it could mean, and that worries me.
What do you need to know?
I've thought about your combat abilities. Now, how is it you picked up your fallen sister's weapon skills? Still don't have an explanation. I have a few ideas, but... Scarlet Furies share a sort of link. It's how we coordinate our dance in the heat of battle. We don't pass messages or anything, but our emotions and intentions sync up without words. Go on. The one thing I always knew was that I felt this connection more keenly than my sisters did. I could pick up nuances they missed, and I could feel them from farther away. When my sisters died, I felt each of them getting yanked out of my brain like someone pulling snails from a garden, but some of their slime residue was still there. Does that make any sense? Your sisters live on in you. Your optimism is cute, Fatebinder, if singularly useless. Won't bring my sisters back, and it doesn't fix this thing in my head that I don't understand. No matter how you paint it, some part of my sisters broke off in me when they died, and now I'm left to deal with it. Just another day in the tears, right? Okay, I have thoughts.
Do you now? Call me intrigued. You already know that I memorized the moves of my Scarlet Fury sisters. If it seems like a total mystery to me, I don't know how you could have arrived at any conclusions, but I'm open to ideas.
Your talent reminds me of the voices of Narat.
I hope I didn't hear you say that, Fatebinder, because the implication is more than either of us is prepared to handle. The voices of Narat is a monster. We both know that Tyranny has never seen a creature more despicable than him. Never mind that he's kind of my boss.
Not comparing you to the voices, only this talent you exhibit.
My little talent that latches onto my friends and bleeds them dry, you mean? Because I never asked for it. I've traveled with the chorus for years. I've seen what the voices can do, and it scares me, all right? The idea that everything I am could be reduced to that. If I had that kind of power, if I could become like him, I don't know how I could live with myself. I'd rather drown myself in a camp latrine.
You don't have to become like him, just be selective.
I'm sure he had the same idea when he got started. But you know what they say about power? It's usually wielded by assholes. My sisters died. Oh, you should have seen us. We were amazing together. I didn't mean to take away what made them special, but I did it all the same. And let me tell you, it felt terrible. If I lived a century, I might never figure out how to make that happen again. And more importantly, I don't want to. What did you have in mind?
There's a way to get...
Go ahead, Fatebinder.
Yeah, okay. I find myself in need of an accomplished killer.
I suppose I'd hate to deprive you. Let's be off.
I'll tack homeward. See you there.
Verse has leveled the fuck up. Let's give her some finesse. And some light. And we'll keep pushing her into skirmisher talents, because she's pretty good at those. Actually, these are pretty good too. Skirmisher's not bad. Hobbled Prey is pretty good. Pig on a spit. I think you're right. I think the range tree is the way to go here. Evasive is really good. And Born of Blood and Fire is pretty legit too. Battle Mind is pretty good. Hobbled is great. Let's do Hobbled. Oh yeah, here's the thing we can do.
Fatebinder wants Beast Woman?
Let's spar with the Beast Woman.
Beast Woman gets to play fight with Alpha? Come!
Before you can step forward, the Beast Woman surges for you without warning, tackling you hard about the waist. Stabber, blaster, or headbutt? Headbutt! Headbutt! Bonk! Hands gripping her hairy shoulders to steady yourself, you ram your forehead as hard as you can into her swarthy snout. Bone crunches audibly and Kills and Shadow howls, rearing back as blood spates down the front of her chin and throat. She gnashes her red-tinged fangs, pained and furious, and looking for a moment as she may very well tear your throat out. Then she licks the blood coating her lips and grins at you dangerously. Beast Woman likes fighting with Alpha. Let's play a game.
Like playing with prey, or with pack. We play sometimes with stone whelps. Rut, mate, slaughter.
I'm always down for a game. Unless it involves throwing and catching. In which case,
Is easy. Packmate chooses one of each. Rut, mate, slaughter. If prey is chosen, pack joins ensuing hunt. If packmate is chosen and both agree to game, then pack gets to watch.
Rut, mate, slaughter, eh? Does it have to be 3 different people? I rutted with my old gang boss, Fine Ass. Mated him for a time, and then I killed him.
Fine
All my
ass.
days running with the chorus, I think I enjoyed Ass Gang the most.
Ass gang. Man, I didn't know Tom Bombadil was in the Scarlet Chorus.
oh, I get it. Okay. I'd rut Barrack, since Kairos' forces need a little pillage and rape in return. I'd mate with Verse, mostly to take half of whatever land she's going to someday conquer. Obviously, I'd kill Lantry. Who wouldn't?
What? I'm old enough to be everyone's father. This is disgusting.
Barrack looks at you and simply shakes his head in horror and disbelief.
How could Beast Woman choose any other? Would Rut ebb good and hot fast? Would mate Alpha and would slaughter, cut carve back to pieces, slowly, savoring while slicing flesh from neck. Yep.
Any good hunts lately?
Good, yep. And many more than 5.
The Beast Women don't have a word for numbers greater than 5. You catch that?
Went to prowl length of old walls during dark of nightfall. Killed many Bane, but could not kill all. Bane are strong, tough hunt even for beast women. Had to run, flee.
Alright, reputation ability unlocked.
My Lord Binder, you have something which requires my attention?
My Lord Binder? Hey, alright, I'm okay with that.
What can I do for you?
Okay, we can't quite get... Can't get the train with Ver's option yet. Maybe later. Alright, let's rest. Oh, I know. We gotta take Barrack with
My
us.
Lord Binder, what can I do for you?
Suit up, Barrack, we're leaving.
If you would have me travel at your side, then I am not opposed to seeing more of this degenerate realm. Onward.
We'll wait for a short while.
Barrack needs more vitality. And more sentinel skills. Barrack and nearby party members take reduced damage, pretty good. Shield wall, also pretty good. Passive allied AoE is pretty legit. Upgrade to Clash of Iron. More engaged. Let's look at Defender's Watch. Alright, so he's got that big friggin' sword for now. And then he's got the old spear and shield. Oh yeah, let's give Ebb some stuff. There we go. Horde light bracers. That's a straight upgrade. Horde boots, again, straight upgrade. I think she's okay with the Curious. And the helm. Yeah, that'll do for now. That'll do for now. Actually, that... Nah, it's alright. That'll do. Oh, what about weapons? Is this an upgrade? That's an upgrade. Neither of these have good penetration, though. Which I guess is where the bow comes in. Yeah, armor penetration 5. Yep. Alright, let's give... I mean, the fact that these give a bonus to accuracy and parrying is pretty cool. Falcata's garbage. Dagger's a straight upgrade. Bronze sword is equivalent. Actually, this gives more accuracy than either weapon, so let's swap it out for Gutseeker. There we go. Now we rest. Alright. Bacon and bicker nonstop. Yep. Pretty much. Alright, we're not required back at the Bastard City yet, which is good. So let's go here, Merchant Crossroad. Oh, we raised their loyalty higher. Yeah, maybe. Maybe I gotta get Versus loyalty higher. I'll check. Ooh, a missive. Matter archival. You fool! The archive was a repository like no other. It contained the collected scholarship of centuries. It should have been studied and examined by those well-versed in what lore has been restricted and what must be preserved, not burned in whole like so much dung to fuel the morning fire. You disappoint me, Wakefield. You disappoint Tyrannus, and you disappoint the future. What's stupid? Why couldn't we just fucking tell him that we saved the archive? I don't understand. I'm not open for business, friend. I'm not looking for trouble. Basilia and Lethian's Crossing expects me with a shipment shortly. Wouldn't want to keep her waiting. Soft and well-fed, this one, but look at her stance. She can handle herself. Excuse me? Quit the act. Give us what we need to know. What'd I say? Let me handle this. You must have mistaken me for someone else, I assure you. Oh, fine. The road to stalwart is paved in iron. The farms of Azure are mostly air. Bird in hand is worth a tortoise in the cabbage patch. What? No, it's yet the papers aren't aflame. Please, I'm trying to work here. Charming. Sorry about the formalities. If word got back to voices that I was cutting corners on security, let's just say I prefer my my tongue in my mouth and my bowels in my, well, bowels, I guess. You're the Fate Binder of the Mountain Spire, correct? I'm Malfora. So what do you have for us? Right. The man you're interested in calls himself Crocus. No idea whether that's what his mother named him. Showed up in the crossing a few months back picking fights and looking for rings. He ran afoul of the garrison and they stomped the pants gravy out of him. Pants gravy? That quieted him down for a bit, but when he started casting around for work again, he boasted of this victory against a band of Furies during the war. Kairos' peace protects Scarlet Furies. You'd think a story like that would scare off any potential employers, but Asa's never been the brightest ring on the rope. Who's Asa? Cloth dealer out of Azure, runs a circuit from the crossings to the Brothers and down into the calmer edges of the Blade Grave. He hired Crocus and a few others last week, claiming he needed extra protection for his daughter. Why he brought his daughter to the crossing in the first place, Overlord only knows. First thoughts? Shit sticks. It's not going to be easy to find a caravan between here and the Blade Grave. Luckily for you, I'm very good at what I do. He usually goes to Stalwart by way of the Ocean Spire, but he's cutting east to make time and avoid beasts. Your best bet's to wait for him here at Hunter's Respite. What can you tell me about Hunter's Respite? Small stretch of wilderness far off the trade route to dissuade raiders, but near enough to avoid losing much time. The isolation recommends it, but not much else. Honestly, the Respite's starting to get too well known as a stopover. I gave it a year before the thieves start hitting it. I'm supposed to wait and hope he shows up? If you want to catch Crocus, yes. Ace has taken the southern road out of Haven, so he'll almost certainly stop there. He's never made a great secret about it being his favorite resting stop around these parts. Now what's your role in this? Just who are you exactly? Mostly of open ears. Came up in the bastard tier, but made for Haven when I could leave home. Started hauling goods between Crossing and Sunder, eventually expanding down to the Brothers and even as far as Arden in a good year. Conquest was bad for business. By then, though, I heard and knew a lot more than I did before. Thought I could turn a profit swapping information with the Archon. I thought right. Not that I'm complaining, mind you. Hail Kairos. Alright. Yeah, thanks. We find this bastard, we'll open him from balls to chin. You now know everything I know about the so-called Fury Slayer. If you have any other questions, you'll have to ask someone else. Taking your goods. Alright, let's intercept. Hunter's Respite. Who goes there? Actually, no, it doesn't matter. Turn back the way you came, stranger, or things will get bloody with a quickness. I see some caravan guards, not the caravan. Why are you over here? Don't know how that's any of your business. We're paid guards. We get paid to guard. We don't pick where we guard, and we don't ask why about the where. That made sense, right? I understood perfectly. Of course he did, Bronze Brain. You have questions in need of answering, you speak to Crocus. Find him up the hill to the west. We're looking for Crocus. Well, he's not over here, is he? Don't know him by sight, you idiot. Shut up. Shut her up before I shut her up for you. She's a Cervic, but she's not wrong. Can you point us to Crocus? Go back west the way you came, head up north the incline. Crocus is at the camp. There he is. A tall, thin man in bronze and leather. It's far enough, stranger. Oi, Crocus, we got company. A massive man answers the lookout's cry, his approach marked by a pronounced swagger. Besides Cario here, I've got an entire squad behind me, experienced warriors all. So I'm left wondering, who the fuck are you? I'm Fatebinder Wakefield. More importantly, this is Verse. And I'm about to adjudicate your head open. Justice for my Fury sisters. Oh shit, to arms! To arms! Let's try out this new spell.
It's a battle!
Hey, that's pretty good. I like that. That's a good one. Ah, set everything on fire. Now let's get right up in their grill and knock them on their feet. Ha! What kind of fun teamwork things can we do here? Blood-soaked stone, that's always a fun one. Iron Storm, also good. How about a little blood-soaked stone?
Alright, let's do this. See an awful lot of red.
Boom, got him.
See that?
He's still alive. Okay. These are the assholes that killed Versus crew, or versus the other Scarlet Fury sisters. They killed him. This guy specifically. This guy.
Entirely useless.
Oh, they got a beast man. Damn. Verse not looking so great. What else we got? Let's get this guy off of Verse and onto Barracks.
Oh, got
Oh, shit.
dark all of a sudden.
Oh dear. Ah, he's burning. I'm also not doing great.
Ready?
Heal me. Excellent. Okay. No blinding. Okay, how about a little fire? Praise Orc! Got him! And a little fireball to help out.
Right.
Everyone's fine but Verse. Yeah. I'm working on that. Seems pretty angry. He just fucking exploded. Hold, for the love of Kairos. Hold like you held when you and your friends killed my fucking sisters? For the love of Kairos, indeed. Oh, please, wait, I'm not proud of what I did back then. I'm a changed man, I swear by the Overlord. I've got a wife now, she's asleep right over there. I earn an honest living by the damn axe. I protect licensed traders. You're not proud? You've been boasting all over Haven. What? No, you don't understand. I couldn't find work otherwise. I thought maybe I could win a few fights in the crossing to prove my mettle, but the fucking guards there jumped me as a group. So I had to tell people at the Furies. It was talk about your sisters or starve and let my wife starve. Is this better than starving? Crunch. Overlord, help me. I never wanted to hurt anyone. It was my damn job. I swore an oath to an Apex Lord because I wanted a bed and food, not because I thought Kairos would ever come to the tears. That oath didn't just dissolve when your armies passed the gates of judgment. I had to kill conscripted tearsmen by the gang, and yes, I helped kill your friends. Not friends, asshole. Sisters. Sisters, then. It wasn't my idea. Katorius had the location. Sick bastard wanted to cook them with his flames. Orisa, she wanted to hunt the Furies, wanted a head on a pike so she could wave at her enemies before battle. I was just there following orders. You said Katorius cooked people? I never actually saw him eat someone, but I'm sure he did. You could see it in his eyes when he looked at you, that hunger. He was a sage, so maybe that explains it. Overlord knows what those scroll fuckers do in their libraries. Certainly not cannibalism. And copulating with scrolls has been frowned upon for centuries. We took one of you alive, you know. What? What the fuck are you talking about? After you disappeared, we realized one of your Furies was still alive. The big bald one. Katorius took her. Never saw her after. Liar! Where's Katorius now? I don't know. I swear by everything and everyone I'd tell you if I knew. He probably died in the Edict of Fire. Served him right if so. If not, well, he deserves this treatment more than me. Okay, where can we find Orisa? After the Fatebinder negotiated peace, Orisa refused to let the truce apply to her. Crazy bitch couldn't lay down her spear. Last I heard, she was down in the Blade Grave. Joined up with those stalwart shitheels, killing disfavored in the Overlord's Endless Storm. Here. Marks on map. This was from her. She wanted me to come find her and take up arms again. I didn't write back. I'm changed. I love the Overlord. Praise Kairos. How do you want to play this verse? It's a delicious tragedy, I'll give you that. Let's write it a suitably bloody ending. I've sworn loyalty to Kairos. Go hunt Orisa, go kill Katorius. They're your true enemies. They're the ones who deserve your justice. Don't worry. We will. Please. So, should we let Verse kill him? Or... on the one hand, he deserves it. She deserves to make the choice. On the other hand, this man has sworn loyalty to Kairos and thus is protected by Kairos' peace. But we do have the ability to suspend Kairos' peace at times. You know, let's let Verse decide. This one's for Seeking Sheath. Thanks, Fightbounder.
Orisa's next. Let's go find her. Seeking was special, you know.
Tell me about her.
Seeking was all dynamo. Short, with hair like moss on a stone and skin the color of the night sky. Laughed at everything. Even insults. She never stopped moving. If we camped, she paced the tents or palisades, always pushing us to get on. Part of it was the gambling. People would stop taking her bets after a day or two. The first time she says she can put a javelin in an apple at 100 yards, a man puts rings down. The second time, he's willing to go double or nothing. The third? That's when he stops betting. Crazy thing about Seeking? It wasn't raw talent. She practiced that shit. The spear work and the javelins, practiced every hour she wasn't sleeping or on assignment. She'd thread the sky with 3 or 4 javelins and dance towards her foe with the spear longer than she was tall. She'd knock a soldier's feet out from under him and let the javelin pin him to the ground. That's her name. Her spears found their marks as if they sought them.
Thought it might be a sex thing. Go on.
Her name meant more than the spear play. Seeking always sought, always looked for new things, new experiences, new stories, new men, new bits of lore. In summer, she'd collect stinging insects, fill thin clay jars with them, and smash them against her foes. No fight was ever even for Seeking. You either got the drop, or you got dropped. Thanks. You know, for listening. Let's go. This oath-breaking scumsack won't hunt herself.
The bees! Not the bees!
Yes.
Ooh, a Katar. Oh, Seeking Sheath stands have been upgraded. Straight upgrade to Red Rivers. Yeah, that's not
On
Waker.
it.
Oh shit. Father? Where's Father? Ace's daughter. What do you think? Leave her some supplies, not to get back to the crossing. There's fruit and grain in the cart too, and cloth to carry, assuming she has any appetite after seeing this slaughter. Let's go, Fatebinder. I'm sick of this place.
Sorry, I can't.
Oh yeah, and then there's these assholes over here.
Trouble is afoot.
Alright, Verse, try not to get knocked down this time.
Right. I got it.
They won't even get close. Far worse. Did I always have this much blood? The glory of Kairos!
What's that noise? Oh, those are grazes. Because he keeps missing Barrack.
I'll tear your skeleton out by your ass! I'm not dead yet.
Spoke too soon there. Okay, we got salvage supplies. Oh, cool. Broken armor.
Right.
Nothing else of value. Alright, let's be on our way. Oh, just a minute. Just gotta do something real quick. Okay, there. Should we continue this little side quest, or should we press on to Telethian's Crossing? Let's keep going. Ooh, encounter the Blade Grave. Hail them. Travelers halt when you hail them and await your approach. Scavengers from Old Stalwart hoping to trade their haul in exchange for food for their families. They're carrying remnants of bronze and iron arms scrounged from the Blade Grave. Leave them be, guide them, proclaim them guilty of treason, or confiscate their goods. Guide them, yeah. Escorting the travelers, and you lead them through the ragged waste of the Blade Grave's broken border. They thank you for your assistance, swearing to spread word of your fairness to others in Stalwart. Their leader shows your appreciation with a few pieces of scrap before their group continues to march. Impartial agent of the court. Jesus, look at all the armor suits. Tumultuous winds of the Edict storms reduce visibility to arm's length as you press against the headwinds and into the torn strand. One man steps forward, pulling off his helm to reveal a grime-roughened face of deep umber, cross-hatched with pale scars. Hold, stranger. You don't look like one of Ash's inbred handmaidens, but you're no sign of Stalwart, so who are you? Inbred handmaidens? I've heard worse descriptions. Of course you have, you handmaiden of Nerat. Good one, Buckethead. If they're finished, I'm Fatebinder Wakefield. One of the court enforcers in Stalwart? You're the one who they say awake at the mountain spire. What brought you down from your perch into the storm? Why I'm here is immaterial. Oh, we're here. Ask your questions. You want Orissa. Unless you want a few more scars on that ugly mug of yours, I suggest you hand her over. Although threats don't bow the unbroken union of Stalwart. If you think I intend to surrender one of my soldiers to you, it's a misunderstanding. It's a misunderstanding I'm only too willing to rectify. I seek Orissa for matters of court, and you will recognize my authority. We don't answer to the court at Bastard City. We are the Unbroken, and Stalwart is ours. Let's show them why we're called the Unbroken. Oh boy.
More tallies to the body count.
Damn thing could...
More fire. Getting our Zord praising on here.
I got it.
Okay, so they're heavily armored, so the lighter weapons aren't really doing much. Ooh, I'm knocked over.
Damn thing couldn't pierce cloth.
It looks like the magic is what's really doing the heavy lifting here. Silenced.
On it.
More fire. More fire.
This is useless. Should try something else.
Oh, Lantry's down. Just noticed that.
Pity you won't enjoy this as much as I do.
Unbroken but not unburnt. Correct. Very nice. Very nice, Silicon.
I got it. This is useless. Should try something else.
Very little damage with the bronze dagger.
I'll hit you twice as hard next time.
Blinded. Okay, let's line up. Let's line this one up and get all of them. Watch this. Yeah, nice. Got them all. That was pretty good. Shit! None of these people were there when my sister died. Check the bodies with me. Maybe there's something here that will help. You search Diocles' remains. Your hand comes away wet, clutching a roll of parchment. What do you got there? Let's have a look. You break the seal and roll the missive. The parchment is a letter, and it's lettered in clean hand. Diocles, or whoever succeeds him. I came to stalwart with little I didn't need for the fight. Only these gloves, a trophy from a skirmish long past. Should I fall at Trapper's Junction, please see to it they return to my sister Clea at our family's homestead at River's Break in Apex. Tell her to use them well and that I wish I could have been there to deliver them myself. Thank you for this. Irissa wanted these gloves given to her sister Clea of River's Break. Did you say gloves? Fuck, I missed these. You know these? They belong to one of my Furies. So Irissa had a sister. A sister for a sister, then. There's a certain poetry in it. Are you suggesting what I think you're suggesting? We need to find this Clea. She must know something about who Irissa ran with during the war, right? And who knows, maybe she'll turn out to be someone in need of a good stabbing through the face. Keep it in your pants, verse. Okay, if we go to River's Break, we're not going with weapons drawn, understood? That's how you want it, Binder? No killing till we know she deserves it, or until she forces our hand. Come on, screw this place. Gauntleted hand rests on your shoulder. A moment, Binder. Yeah? I've known Verse for a few years now. She's always been excitable. This is different. She seems rabid, heedless of danger, like the worst of the chorus instead of the best. Yeah, I noticed. What I'm asking is that you keep an eye on her, for her well-being rather than just yours. Though if Verse were my soldier, I'd want her as collected as possible. That may never be an option. I'll keep your concerns in mind. Thank you for hearing me out, Fatebinder. Scavenger mask.
I got it.
And hey, loot! Loot! Sandals. Ooh. Ooh, a dagger. How does this compare? Not as good as some of these other ones. Looks cooler, though. Yeah, look at that. Well, it's equivalent to the other one, so... yeah, looks cooler. Ooh. Look at that. These gauntlets may include only 6 of her many blades, but they were perhaps the most commonly bloodied. Edge defense. When crit, foe bleeding for 9 seconds. Versus Beastman, they would probably be stabbed with glee. Totally.
Hey, this looks fun.
The quick and the dead. Where is it? Oh, look at that. That's pretty good. Artifact of great power. Okay, River's Break, all the way up here. 3 friggin' days. Essa. An older woman tends to a small but verdant patch of farm. Careful, stranger. I'm no easy mark, and I've little worth your time or blood. She may be old enough to be my mother, but she holds herself like a warrior trained. Nice farm. Thank you for your kindness. We're shared with my husband before he died. Not much to look at, but kept the family fed. Compliments ain't answers, though. I ask again, what brings you here? We seek Clea. Clea? Clea was my youngest. Why are you asking after her? Was? Shit, don't tell me we're too late. I'll have you keep a civil tongue in your head, girl, when you're on my land. Sorry, ma'am. Ma'am? Okay? Yeah, I'm fine. What happened to Clea? First things first, call me Essa, daughter of Asperia, and this is my homestead, granted to me by Queen Vendry and Alanta in honor of my service. That's an introduction. You got one to match? I'm Wakefield, Fatebinder of Tunon the Adjudicator. You're the Peacebinder, then. Hope you know how much people value what you did for the Queen in negotiating the surrender. It was a good deed done well. What does a Fatebinder want with the likes of me? I ain't broken the Overlord's laws. Verse? I'm sorry, Essa, but Orisa has died. Orisa. Dear girl. Dear, stupid, blind, foolish, arrogant girl. Sob. How did it happen? She died in Stalwart, aiding the Unbroken against the forces of Kairos. It's my fault. I raised those girls on the romance of war, on tales of blooding the bastard Tyr and pushing back Azure. How was I to know your armies would come in their lifetimes, that the gates of judgment wouldn't hold, or that you'd stride into the tears with a man of stone who could step clean over a curtain wall? Even girls like mine couldn't stand against Kairos. There ain't been nothing like that northern shadow before, able to crush mountains and call earthquakes from a scrap of vellum. There ain't no fight in that, I told 'em. They didn't listen, damn them. Of all the damn fool things I told them, the only thing they didn't hear was what mattered. Well? A mercenary at Lethian's Crossing by the name of Crocus pointed us toward Orisa. He painted her a much more vicious killer than you have. Crocus? I ain't never heard the... Bald, bearded man, skin the color of bronze and thick as a beastman? I knew him by a different name. Right lazy bastard by my reckoning. Only thing he put much effort into was lying his way into a meal in a thong of rings. What justice is there if a man like him lives when my Orisa's met the void? There's justice. It was slow and terrible. Aye, there's some comfort there. What do you know about Catorius? Sage? Was an older gentleman, smarter than most, like he had the whole Vellum Citadel bouncing around in his head. A tad off in the way magicians so often are. Eyes as hungry as a flame. You trained your daughters in the arts of battle? Aye, their father were a good man, but more suited to farm work than war. If you're looking for someone to blame, I'd be that person. I trained them up, taught them the falx, the javelin, the spear, and the shield. And they use that knowledge against your precious Archons and their armies. Hey, Essa, maybe you'd like to shut the fuck up now? What do you teach them about the Overlord? There's never been a graver threat to all of Tyratus. That Kairos represents the worst of the powers of man or woman. That such an evil must be resisted at all costs by any means necessary. What? That contradicts what you said before. I changed my tune in my older, softer years, but as they growed up, I poisoned them against Kairos as thoroughly as if I'd carved it on their hearts. You use all this food yourself, or have you sold it to other people in the well? I sold some, for rings and without a Kairos damned license, too. So, you admit to violating Kairos laws in front of a chronicler. Well, young lady, this is going to be going in the permanent record. Hey, geriatric voyeur, you ever considered shutting your flapping gums? Anything else you want to tell me, Essa? Well, naming a child for Kairos is a capital offense, ain't it? I imagine naming a pig for Kairos ain't much better. Care to meet Kairos the Overpig? He's around back. You see what's happening here, don't you, Binder? Yeah, I see what she's doing. I've come to a decision. What matter? There's no matter here, Binder. Please tell me you're not going through with all this. Well, guys? Yeah, she's trying to goad us into killing her. 1. Another for 1. You guys want to gain wrath with Tunon? Are you sure? Are you sure? Man, you guys are quick to go for the bad ending. Remember, this is not a game about being the good guy. Or 4. Yeah, you know what? 4. We could let Verse. Let's let Verse take charge here. Barrick doesn't approve. Maybe he does. Really? We came here because Arissa, she killed one of my sisters. I always thought I needed to avenge them to make it right because I failed them. But actually talking to you, it's cleared some stuff up. I guess what I'm saying is I miss my sisters and you miss your daughters, and that's just the way of things. Huh. That was some uncharacteristic hesitation on your part.
I didn't realize you knew me so well as to say what is and isn't like me. I enjoy killing, Fatebinder. Doesn't mean I think everyone deserves to die.
Arissa and Clear are dead? What does that mean for your sisters?
I'm sure Whispers would have something clever to say about frustrated ambitions. You ever have a friend who almost never speaks? But then, every once in a while, she slips in the perfect word at the perfect time, and it's the only thing you remember.
Ah, hence the name.
That was 3 Whispers. She was our wiry, flickering shadow with hair like crow's feathers. Preferred close-up work. That was her name, her 3 knives and the sound of air from a punctured lung. It's, hard to remember stories about her because she never drew attention.
And yet?
Her old favorite. That I remember. She'd trick a soldier into gutting his own comrade, then open his throat while he was in shock. Beautiful move, and I saw her dance it 12 times. Whispers knew her histories and letters, knew borders and houses and heraldry. Even knew a few sigils and kept us from bleeding out more than once. Whispers and me, we were more than sisters sometimes. Not often. And nothing halting. But yeah, she read a body as easy as a scroll.
Sounds nice.
Was nice.
Let's go.
Let's.
Alright. I think that... Yeah, that was it. That's the quest. Now let's see.
At your service, Fatebinder. What do you need?
Here we go. Okay, look, Barrick, Verse, have you noticed you fight particularly well together?
The thought has crossed my mind from time to time. During the many battles of the Conquest, we found ourselves standing back to back with enemies on all sides on more than one occasion.
The big guy here is as useless as an empty scabbard without his phalanx to keep him alive, but I move fast enough to compensate for it. And it's nice having a living wall of rusted iron I can use for cover.
I want you two to train together.
Absolutely not. Our fighting styles are incompatible, and any disfavored lieutenant will tell you not to join at the hip soldiers who can't stomach each other.
I'm inclined to agree. If you want to pair up fighters, there has to be some great passion or magnetism between them. We don't have it.
Oh, if neither of you is up to the challenge, then I won't force the matter.
Now see here, experiment in unpredictable ways are an annoyance, but no challenge is beyond my skill. Verse, we should take some time to face off in the sparring fields. It might even improve our disposition towards one another.
I'd rather watch you devour your armor one shaved off spoonful at a time. But since that isn't going to happen anytime soon, I suppose I'll make an effort.
Alright, Barrick and Verse have gained a new combo ability. Arrow Storm. Verse fires arrows into Barrick's armor. When the last arrow strikes, Barrick roars and the arrows burst, striking nearby enemies. Overpig, yes. I don't think the Overpig is actually here. I think it was just a line in the dialogue. Yeah, there's no actual pigs here. You don't get to meet Kairos the Overpig, I'm sorry. Alright, only thing left to do is kill the garrison at Lethian's Crossing. Actually, you know what? Let's zip back to the court for a sec. Oh. Glint of iron and bronze. Broad shoulders. The standard flame of their cart boasts the heraldry of Tunon the Adjudicator. They hail you as you approach. You recognize the one who leads them as a minor functionary in Tunon's service by the name of Alma. Alma. Where have I heard that name before? Oh, right. Alma Dick's going in your mouth. Boom! Her clothes bear the red, black, and gold of the court, and she keeps her light brown hair in a carefully braided bun atop her head. Dude, come on, Whacker. That was brilliant. That was brilliant. Somebody clip that. Fatebinder Wakefield. I traveled in the Archon service. The cart behind me is laden with supplies all at a reasonable price. Is there anything I can provide you? Yeah, sure. Let's see. Let's trade. Really nothing I require. Thank you, though. Maybe a couple of potions. There we go. Listen, I told you, the very first stream title was Will Proclaims the Edict of Ligma, okay? Callia wanted to work. Oh! Something's happening. Mercy, my Lord Tunon, mercy! My Lord Tunon, I must plead for my innocence in this matter. That will be for the court to decide. The Forge-bound are my subjects, and I hold them to a higher standard. You are the keepers of the Iron Secret. That cannot be forgotten. Fatebinder, so kind of you to join us. I wonder if you might assist in adjudicating this case. As always, I'm curious to witness your execution of Kairos' law. It would be my pleasure, Your Honor. Excellent. Smith, offer up your testimony. I bought a shiny bauble from a merchant passing through Lethian's Crossing, a stone of great beauty and strength. Over time, I shaped it into a mallet for pounding iron. The properties of the stone were incredible. I could swing harder, faster, and without strain, and increased my production of iron weapons tenfold. Until your master grew suspicious and turned you over to me. The bauble you speak of was a touchstone, an artifact known to originate from the old walls, to which all are forbidden to go. The charge is trespass and theft of forbidden artifacts. You may proceed, Fatebinder. Did you know where the touchstone came from? Not at first. The merchant wouldn't reveal his sources, but it didn't take long to put the pieces together. You just don't encounter objects of such power anywhere else. When you realized the object's source, did you stop using it? No. Once I had it figured out, every swing of the mallet shamed me something awful, but I knew I was doing right by Kairos. I was sending his army the best weapons I'd ever crafted. I thought that might absolve me. Guess I thought wrong. Did you ever lie about using the mallet? No, that is, the other smiths were curious about my work, but no one thought to inspect my tools. Since no one asked, I never told them. A lie of omission, then, just as nefarious in the eyes of Kairos. What if your arcane tool had harmed someone, or yourself? What then would have become of iron production? I don't know, Your Honor. Okay. I trust in your instincts, Fatebinder. Make sure my confidence is not misplaced. Smith had betrayed Kairos, he should go free. Artifact is forbidden, Smith is guilty. Or forbidden knowledge is taboo, but the Smith was ignorant. I favor this one, I think. Yeah, forbidden knowledge is taboo under Kairos' law, but the Smith was ignorant. He should go free. So, I can go. A shrewd interpretation of Kairos' law, but I cannot deny its validity. Very well. The Forge-bound may return to his duties using only the tools of his trade. Is that understood? Yes, Your Honor. I'll return to my labors right away. Alright, Regulus. Hey, Regulus, I got something to show you. No, yeah, I can't. Tell me about the past Archons. No. Where do you study? Okay, Callio wanted a word. Whacker, I'm a huge fan of creatively bypassing red tape and bullshit in legit ways to get real work done. Hell yeah. Oh, here we go. Here we go. You wrote that you could illuminate the darker corners of Tyranny. In a private missive, yes, there are things I won't discuss within the hearing of outside ears. I need to speak to the Fatebinder privately. And I suppose not every conversation needs to be recorded. As you wish. Suit yourself. I confess to no small amount of curiosity. I peek into my share of shadows, and sometimes I scrounge up a secret. What excites your interest? I thought you might have an interesting take on matters arcane. And you came to me? Don't let the Fatebinder of lore know. He'll never forgive you. What answers do you seek? You know about sigils? I'm a practical magician, not a theorist. If you're looking for the whys of magic, I'd direct you to Regulus. Sigils are derived from the personal marks of the Archons. We know that. There's something of a question about whether the Archons are stamping their will onto Tyranny or unearthing some hitherto unknown aspect of magic and giving shape to that. It's one of those questions that serves little pragmatic purpose. Some Archons, like Occulted Jade of the Tidecasters, teach their sigils to followers, building a group of supporters. Other times, as is in the case of Siren, the sigil is developed by those studying the Archon's works. In many cases, Archon Cairn, for instance, it's a little of both. The oldest sigils can be uncovered by those who know where to look, hidden within scrolls, squirreled away in libraries, or at larger markets. Why have we not been taught the sigils of Tunon or Bled and Mark? Notice that, did you? I wouldn't presume to speculate on the Archon's motives, nor would I encourage you to. Quite the opposite, in fact. It's probably for the best, honestly. The Court of Fatebinders elicit enough fear among the citizenry and envy among the Archons as is. More power could very well make our work more difficult rather than less. Celestial spheres. Tyranny's grave dominates the night. Doesn't know much about it. I'd like to pick your brain regarding lore historical. How do missives work exactly? Someone writes a letter on a page, someone else reads them. Information passes between them. Clever. Thank you. If you're asking how missives get from place to place, the short answer is a combination of birds and couriers. Many cities and strongholds keep an aviary. I don't know the details, but I understand it's very rewarding. Okay. Sages. Harumph. Besides the obvious antipathy that our compatriot holds for them. Sages know how to pick a lock or slip undetected through a manner, as they know how to craft a missive or weave a cantrip. Okay, birds can't get everywhere. The birds won't do. Couriers run the missives from the nearest aviary to the communique's intended recipient. That's assuming missives that aren't overly sensitive. Some missives must be hand-delivered by trusted agents. Sages and some of the other guilds use birds specially prepared with rituals that allow them to find the intended recipient of a missive regardless of where they are in the tiers. Overlord. A dangerous interest. What exactly is an edict? You've issued and broken them yourself. You felt that power. What do you think it was? The words contain tremendous power within themselves. So if you had the edict again, the same combination of words, you think it would work again? The power may have resided in the words, but they released it when read. You notice the lingering effects. Sometimes I catch this whiff of brimstone. I'm pretty sure it's me. What edicts have you read? Most recently, the Edict of Stone against Cairn last year. Each word I spoke shook the land, drawing moisture from it for me. I felt Cairn's presence as he raged through the soldiers dispatched to stop him, and I felt him weakening under my onslaught. Under the overlords, rather, not that I'm convinced that this division existed in that moment. I was Kairos' mouthpiece, Kairos' tool. I still wake with crust in my eyes. Even freshly laundered, my clothes bear a thin layer of dust. What do you think Kairos' end goal is? To win, I suspect. Whatever form that takes, I can make some guesses, but that's all they are. Thus far, the Overlord has always had some new front to set soldiers against, some new land to conquer and an opponent to villainize. What's left when the entire world falls under your control? Do you start melting down swords into plows and devote yourself to developing the society you wanted to establish when you first set out to war? Do you seek out dissenters and make them the new enemy, or do you manufacture enemies from those most likely to challenge you? And it's as if any of those choices excludes the others. I won't pretend to know the Overlord's mind on this. I can only guess it'll be an interesting time. Archons. Why do the Archons have unusual fucking names? Is yours so typical? Tunon claims his name has always been Tunon, much as he expects us to carry out our service without resorting to sobriquets or pseudonyms. Our Archon of War was only Ash before Kairos added the Graven, and Cairn. I've always suspected that was the Overlord's private joke. Suffice to say, when you've drawn that much attention, you're called what the Overlord calls you. Do you know any legends from the rest of Tyranus? Huh. Okay, enough about that. And that'll do. How have you occupied your time in the Bastard City? Okay. Can we ask Nuvenal anything new? Not really. Can we get anything new from Tunon? No. Okay. I was hoping to initiate a specific missive, but I'm not sure how to get to it. Oh, maybe I know. Maybe I know how to get to it. Falkenstein, you still here? Yeah, I talked to Lucretius already. Do you remember how to get the, how to get in touch with the older Fatebinder, the one that knows about spires? Does that happen after you take the second spire? Because I thought that was by talking to Regulus, but I didn't get the prompt. Yeah, okay, we'll find out. We'll get there. Because I'm pretty sure it's plot critical, so we'll get there eventually. Maybe it's an Act 3 thing. Anyway, let's clear out the garrison. Save. Right. Kill the Bronze Brotherhood garrison. Sounds like a plan. Ooh, Sigil of Rooting. I think I know that one. Yeah, I think I know that one. Oh, I don't. Cool. Stop there, Fatebinder. Not another step. I'm warning you. We'll kill you if you don't turn around. I suggest you go before this gets ugly. Maybe all those stories about you are true. I'm not sticking around to find out. Fucking loser. Alright, let's do this. Red geezer stance. No, I want her to be in 3 whisper stance.
Come at me, grave meat.
Fireball! Hit him with Iron Toll.
Nothing stands in our way.
Zap.
Wait, I did that? Nice!
And dead.
Will do.
Okay, that's one down. Ooh, a dagger. I do like those. Nerds.
Heads up, we have company.
What is wrong with my weapon?
Will do.
Fireball! God, the fire spells are so good. And knocked him all over.
See that? I'm not entirely useless.
Smashed to pieces!
This isn't working.
He just parried my spell.
Flawless! Come and feast my iron!
Okay, we got 2 level ups. We're good for wits, I think. How about a little bit of finesse? And additional spell slots sounds pretty useful. Energy shield. No. Arcane thrust. Spell breached. Okay, cool, cool. Maybe we should start going into leadership. There are some good leadership ones. Okay, so these are the Bronze Brotherhood. They are guarding Lethian's Crossing, which is a major trade hub, and we give a shit about that because, well, we're trying to get there. So, you know. Also, they're kind of working for the Scarlet Chorus, I think. And you know, we don't like them, and that's why they're fighting us, because they're like, no, fuck you. Greater renewal, yeah, that's a good one. Entry gets more cunning. Yeah, they don't work so much for the chorus, they work against the disfavored. It's an important distinction.
Not here.
But for now, the reason we're fighting them is because they drew steel. So fuck them. Let's lower the bridge.
Sorry, I can't.
That wasn't so hard. Another battle. I think we're bad at making friends.
Give him a kick. And then let's use Iron Storm.
Wait my signal.
Come on, Barret,
Pay
recover.
attention, kid. You might learn something.
You should try that again.
Ah, it didn't work. Not only did it not work, it used up the ability. That's bullshit. There. Okay, let's use the reputation power. Like, maybe this one. Whoa! Okay, that was cool. That was pretty cool.
I'll tear your skull out by your ass.
This is useless. Should try something else.
Boom. Alright. Garrison defeated. Now we can go about our business. Ooh, a hammer. It's hammer time. That's a good hammer. That's a really good hammer. That's a really good hammer. Barrack is slightly better with the shield, but the hammer's pretty cool. Alright, so let's see if we can buy some cool things. Hello! Nothing really of note. I can sell that because I know that sale already. I can sell the vendor trash. Broken hilt. Interesting.
Might we not simply break it?
There's another couple of merchants around here I want to talk to, and then I'll go into the forge, and we'll get the forge bound to have a look at Barrack. Oh, actually, maybe we can play with this a little bit. Rather than that, let's just make this more fire, right? Let's up the duration of this one, and the cooldown. Make the cooldown faster. Yeah. Yeah. Let's up the range of fireball. And let's up the range of Twisting Flame. Oh, there's several merchants here. Hello. Sigil of Frost, Sigil of Lightning, I know those already. Ooh. Daggers. But again, nothing of great interest. How about you? Ooh, whoa! Hello. A poisonous dagger. Okay. Want. I would like one of those, please, sir. Please, sir, your finest poison dagger. No, you don't understand. It's a really good dagger. Don't need the Velcata. Alright. Let's swap for that one. There we go. There we go. Now we're talking. Now we are cooking with gas. Greetings and salutations. Staff of Enigma. Enigma balls. Feel bleeding. Does the poison turn their blood to napalm? That would be cool. I don't think it does, but it would be cool. I guess we can sell these. Item type. Sort by item type, and then I can get rid of duplicates. As I said, I like to collect armor. But that's garbage, so I'll get rid of that. Don't really need the nobleman stuff. I'll give him a case of heartburn. Nice. Well played. Well played. Alright, let's go talk to the Forgebound, and then that'll probably be it for the night.
See that?
Actually, Barrack is accumulating stuff by mistake. Let me fix that. Biotis. Oh, I bet he sells stuff. Hello. Ah, yes. Forgebound gear. Oops. Actual iron dagger. Why is this? Oh, because I'm right. Okay. Forgebound hammer. Exquisite javelin. Oh, I bet Barrack could do with an upgrade. He doesn't really need the spear. Let's give him a hammer. Let's give him... Ooh, volcanic weapon. Yeah, let's give him a hammer. Oh... No, I think the spear is actually better. Longer range, and it has a cool AoE effect. Hammer von Zorg. Master the Fatebinder is here. It's Zedenia, Master of the Forge. May the fires of your forge never cool. Fatebinder, I'd hoped our paths would cross. What can the Servant of the Flame do for you? What you brought? I've named it the Magebane Helm. I forged it specifically to protect the Forgebound from the Bane in the Old Walls. With the helm in its place, magic will keep them inside. Why'd you create a helm? The Forgebound are crafters of weapons and armor. Fatebinder, not statues and baubles. I make what I know. It's also portable and can be moved easily or used in battle should its protection be needed elsewhere in the future. For the time being, though, I will remain here, protecting the Forgebound. We have a job to do and cannot do it properly if we're constantly assaulted by outside forces. I've come for that helmet. Give it to me. Are you insane? I made the helmet to protect Lethian's Crossing. I've already placed it above the entrance to the old walls to prevent the Bane from escaping, and it will not be removed for anyone, not even a Fatebinder. I merely mean to inspect it. Tunon has sent me personally to ensure your work is to the quality he expects. Or should we just be like, hey, what if I just took it? Yeah, what if I just took it? Well, no. Maybe we should... I don't know. I kind of don't want to invoke Tunan's name. I feel like that's a bad idea. Because that's going to get back to Tunan. What if I just took it? See to it, your head be placed between my hammer and an anvil. Do not push me, Fatebinder. Alright, fair enough. Outsider never arrives alone. At least that's what my mother always said. I'm Eldian. Welcome to Lethian's Crossing. You must be the one everyone's talking about. Not really a fan of the way you use your weapons to say hello, but this isn't the first time blood was shed over Lethian's Crossing, and it certainly won't be the last, and I won't pretend I'll miss the Brotherhood. The Adjudicator sent you for the Archon of Song, I assume? What was that about the Archon of Song? Siren, the songbird? Feels like half the town she's got mooning over her in that hovel near the river. It's on the first tier if you want to find her. Seeing as you're not here for her, what can I do for you? What can you tell me of Lethian's Crossing? Not much. I mean, stuff, yeah, but I'll be on my way. We'll go pick up Siren in a sec, but I want to do some other stuff first here. Master of Crafting. Is there something you want? Is there a problem? Yes, but these are forge-bound matters, nothing that concerns the High Court of Tunon. You do. Keep things running smoothly. Okay, he doesn't want to talk. Alright. Laura, Master of Tempering. Clang, clang. Do you kill with your left hand or your right? Is that how they say hello in your hometown? Do you also answer questions with questions? It's a simple question, child. When you swing a tool to end another life, which hand do you use? Right. Noted. I'm Laura, Master of Tempering and Forge Master of Lethian's Crossing. My task exceeds the hours left in the day, but there's no harm pausing my work if it means speaking with the Fatebinder. How may I be of assistance? I'd like to talk about Barrack. What about him? I hoped you would examine him. Did the... Oh, sorry. Excuse me a sec, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, back. Did the Adjudicator not issue an injunction against precisely that action? Indeed, he sent the decision by bird to each of the guild workshops. If you merely look him over, that's not exactly against the Adjudicator's decree, is it? Allow me to state this in no uncertain terms, Fatebinder. The Forgebound swore our allegiance to Tunon the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice. We do not easily forget that oath, nor do we rush to circumvent it. Our fastidiousness is not limited to our craft. Loyalty to an oath looks like this, Fatebinder, in case you'd forgotten. I don't suppose you know any skilled smiths who lack your ironclad sense of loyalty. You ask me to be an accomplice to your crime. There may be an individual who can help you. Rumor has it there's a mage smith of some manner in the Stone Sea. By all rights, she should have been killed, so I assume she's worked out a deal with that glowing green bastard Narat. I cannot provide you with a name, but you might ask around Halfgate if you have the misfortune of being in that area. Alright, thank you. Goodbye, Fatebinder. As far as I'm concerned, this conversation never occurred. It's just, ooh, hammer. That's, well, since we've got one. Oh, okay. Armor penetration, that's good. Yeah, look at that. Alright, so I think we're gonna call it there for the week. Good place to stop. Why did you raise the bridge, you asshole? Wow, rude. Alright, thanks everybody for hanging out. And be back next week. Set them on fire. Yeah, we'll set them on fire next week. Alright, good night everybody.